Bye, Show.
It's such a good movie.
Yes, it is. A must watch during the holidays, right?
There
we are, the Brady Bunch.
It's in my big three.
I do have I'm working on a game, Tim, if you want to throw it in the notes somewhere.
Okay.
Working on it.
Is it guessing retro game prices?
It'll be short. No. I wouldn't subject you guys to that.
Only
if that was fun.
What you've been playing?
Okay.
Is that what you're talking about?
That was great.
What is the price of my disc game? That price charter doesn't have a price on.
Oh no, you're working on the trivia game.
Yeah, it'll be a quick one.
Yeah, I got it in here. It's under the let's discuss.
By the time we make it through all of the showcase news and the not Nintendo Direct news,
it'll be short.
It's a whole show. It's a whole show.
We'll get through it, right? All right, is everybody ready?
I will not speak unless spoken to.
Oh no! Don't do that. You'll not speak then. you just gotta charge in there like an elephant.
How we're gonna do it.
Dan will be fine. He doesn't do any shows where he doesn't talk.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
3, 2. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 380, recorded on June 16th, 2022. On tonight's episode with guests Dan, John, and Sam, and not just any guest, special guest from Retrologic. We talk about the latest summer gaming events, a little trivia with the Retrologic crew, the GBA celebrating 21st anniversary here in North America, and everything everywhere all at once. Jesse, you know what to do.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Marty here. It's Nintendo Dads episode 380, and this party of adventurers has journeyed afar and now has happened upon a kobold war party. Dan, you roll for initiative. It's an 18. What do you do?
What are we playing? What is this?
D&D. You rolled a 20. 18.
I don't play Dungeons and Dragons.
You failed.
I am a Christian man.
Oh, look, it's just
That didn't stop me when I was a kid.
Here's the thing. I threw to the wrong person there. I should have thrown to Jesse. He would have known exactly
zero
what to
initiative, apparently. Or listening skills.
I know. I don't have any initiative either when it's 150 billion degrees outside like it is in most of
hold on. It's
states
95 degrees in my garage right now.
And you're right. You're in that garage? Yeah.
I'm in here.
I see the clock back there. I see the 95.
Yep.
Man, sacrifices being made tonight, and later on we'll talk about our sponsor Manscaped, and you'll probably need that after tonight, after sitting up there. Joining us on the show tonight, again, our special guest from Retrologic, but also our usual cast of Nintendo Dads characters. So that means there's 7 people on this podcast, which we think ties the record for the greatest amount of people on the show at one time. Jesse Waldack, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. I have a few quick stories I wanted to quickly spit out. One, we've had 95-degree heat for the last 3 or 4 days, and our air conditioning decided to go wonky yesterday. So I called the repair guy to come on out, and while I was waiting, I decided, let's check the filter. The filter is gunked because of the kitchen remodel.
That's why it went out.
So I swapped out the filter. The guy originally said, it looks like everything looks fine, so I think it's just a filter. But it then had the same problem today. So I'm like, okay, can you send someone out again on Friday? Or so something's weird with the air conditioning. So it's working okay now, but it gets to the point where it freezes up and then stops blowing. Then
that's not good.
No. But the second quick thing, I got an unusual package today from China. I didn't order it. No one in my family ordered it. Someone must have sent it to me, and I have no idea who.
Did you open it?
I did open it. It was a set of 8 toothbrushes
Jesse,
from China.
Don't open a package you didn't order.
Were any of the toothbrushes used?
You're alive. That's a good thing.
Did you use the toothbrushes after that?
None of them are used, and I did not use any. So
Did you
But it
gain
was-
Could even have your
superpowers?
name on it.
Guys, listen. This is what happens when you order forks on wish.com. All right.
No, but the package did have my name on it.
Okay.
Well,
So
I don't
But it was
know
a-
how that happened.
I don't know. It was a weird. Well, I figured someone might have ordered it because people order stuff all the time and send it to my house to be picked up later because they don't trust their apartment complex, and I understand that. But
Yeah.
Jesse, I just want to say, well, I'll tell you what happened. I'm really, really happy that your anniversary gift from Nintendo Dad showed up. I'm just
Is that what that
Aw.
Look,
How many-
it's
how
one
many,
tooth.
how many
Justin,
toothbrushes were there
Justin.
I think it was 8.
Justin.
for 8 years? You're
That's
welcome.
right. That's what I was going to say. It's 7 years of Employee of the Year and one to grow on.
It's a little bit of
We
what
we
I'm
talked
saying?
about this. I'm glad
Yeah,
you went ahead
you're
and
welcome.
initiated
Again, big
The
thanks
chat-
to patreon.com for supporting us sending toothbrushes to Jesse Waldeck as our 8-year running Employee of the Year.
The chat saying Robo Jesse must have sent them.
Yeah, that's what it is. And that voice you heard just a minute ago, those velvety tones. Mr. Justin Masson, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. I am excited to be here. There is so much video game news to
Why
talk
did
about.
you say thanks for having me? Like you're not on the show.
I know. Sometimes I just feel like I'm just not here enough.
Because
sometimes-
the show, because the show is almost 50% Retrologic at this point.
That is also true, right? And I also just sometimes feel like I get to be a guest here. I don't feel like this is my show anymore. I feel this is like our show. So
Oh,
thanks for having me here together.
Okay.
Timothy off. What's going on, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm just sitting back and enjoying all the comedy here. It's comedy gold right now.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Comedy bronze.
Right?
Yeah, it's not reached gold yet. We've got
just
we've got a
started,
bunch
right?
more bananas to collect. Speaking of
Radioactive.
bananas to collect, joining us on the show tonight from the Retrologic podcast, Dan Caparello. How you doing?
I'm
buddy?
here. I'm here and I have all the bananas.
Yep. And you don't have initiative. You do have Donkey Kong there in the background. It looks like
I've
though.
got lots of Donkey Kong going on back here. So
Yeah.
if we want to get into it, we can get into it.
Oh my gosh, could we?
can-
Yeah.
Oh, we
Please.
will. We will. There'll be there'll be a special one-time Donkey Kong segment in the post show.
Yes. Just Justin and I. That's it. Y'all are
Also
gonna
joining
leave.
us from Retrologic, Sam, otherwise
Hello.
known as how would most people otherwise know you?
As the one, but maybe not only, third strongest mole.
That is correct. And
Third
I
strongest
promise
host.
that I was not ignoring your invite to TMNT Shredder's Revenge earlier that you sent me.
I'm sure. I just wanted to know how
Um,
that worked.
Yeah. The way it works is everyone else with good internet gets to enjoy that. And when you send it to me, I just ignore it because if I tried to do it at my house,
Hmm.
my router would burst into flames. Yeah.
Understandable.
So
Understandable.
we're glad to have you on the show. And also from Retrologic, John, that fast. How you doing, bud?
Pretty good. And I have no Donkey Kong behind me.
You do have a chain chomp with a Mario hat though.
There's a
So-
Donkey Kong somewhere.
I did,
Pretty good.
yeah. I don't have a Donkey Kong amiibo out of all my amiibos here.
What?
Somehow. Yeah, I missed
I
it
have
on the first
one.
run.
I have
John.
one. I have Diddy Kong as well.
How long have we been friends?
Well, that's
Because
on
it
you
ends
you didn't buy
today.
me one.
Oh, well, that's it. You know what? Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
We need to fix that.
Well,
Fix that.
guys, we not only have a huge cast and crew for this show, but we have a ton of news to get through as there was a lot of announcements this week, a lot of reveals, and we want to go ahead and dive into that for you. So, Jesse, you know what to do. Let's head for the news. And of course, our news is brought to us each and every week by you fine folks over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where you can join up and be a part of that for as little as $1 a month. Get into the Discord. $5 gets you all the channels. $10 gets you pre and post show audio, including a rousing discussion of Donkey Kong tonight, as well as a quarterly art card highlighting one of the greatest or the newest releases that's come out. We just posted our brand new one for Mario Strikers. And $30 gets you on the show as a Patreon producer. And you can head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads and do that. And guys, look, honestly, seriously, here, Justin made mention of this earlier in the show. Your patronage does support different things here at Nintendo Dads. It supports things like being able to replace equipment when we need to. It supports being able to pay for games and systems when we need to. And in the future, hopefully, sending members of Nintendo Dads to different cons and meetups and possibly even
Toothbrushes.
hosting our own con. I don't know. And also toothbrushes. Toothbrushes. For Jesse.
DadCon.
Yeah. DadCon. That's what we would like to call it. I don't know. Well, we'll see. There's probably already a DadCon somewhere that has seminars like finding the right New Balance shoes for you, how to tuck in your shirt with shorts, and how to mow the yard in alternating lines, crisscross, to make it look like that hatch pattern.
I'm working on that one right now. The alternating paths.
Yeah, I can't do that. I'm just
Yeah,
going
it would
in a
have to
circle.
be Nintendo DadCon because DadCon is used by like a million different things.
Okay. Nintendo DadCon.
So says
There it is.
Google.
Well, we probably don't want to use the word Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
We might get flagged for that.
Yeah.
And
So-
dads.
NDadsCon. NDadsCon. NINDADSCon. Who knows? I don't know. Guys, tons of news this week from not E3. Nintendo strangely absent. Though, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. Most rumors and innuendo point to next week dropping a Nintendo Direct, probably around June 28th or 29th, possibly revealed or announced on the 28th and dropping on the 29th, which follows the pattern that
That's
they've
2
been
weeks
using.
from now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, 2 weeks from now. Sorry. Yeah. So closing out the month of June, which it does kind of make sense, and we give them time to highlight Fire Emblem, Three Hopes, and everything else coming out for the rest of the summer, and kind of go through the rest of the year as well. But we want to talk about some of the things that were revealed this week and even today, right before we came to be on the air. So let's start just kind of.
Before we get into details, I just want to rant a little.
Okay.
So, as the one who aggregated all these notes, this is way too much. If it was 3 half-hour shows, it gives me an hour breather between them to kind of take it in and absorb it and understand it. Sure, that's kind of what normal E3 is. But this was like 3 90-minute shows that were back to back to back, and I didn't have any chances to really take anything in. So, like on Friday or the Guerrilla Collective, there was 2 or 3 things I thought I liked. I couldn't tell you what they were because by the end of the day, I had 5 pages of announcements. I don't remember which one from which one. So
Yeah.
as we go through these, I can't tell you anything about any of these games, but
Right.
I have the notes with the game, the system if announced, and a date range if announced.
Right. And so what we'll do as we go through these is just kind of talk about some of them and kind of highlight the bigger releases and only ones that are coming to Switch just to save time. But we do want to mention.
So if Nintendo is doing a 29th show, good for being by yourself. That's not
right.
going to get buried by
That's
every
right.
other announcement.
Yeah. June 10th saw Netflix gaming events that revealed 3 new video game shows, return video game shows in some ways. The Cuphead Show is getting a season 2. It premieres on August 19th. Has anyone watched Cuphead?
Yeah, it's good.
I have.
It's like downloaded on mine and on my iPad, and I've not watched it yet. Sonic Prime is going to launch sometime this year. A trailer for that was already was shown previously as a teaser. Anybody interested in this one?
I'll watch it. At least the
I'm
first
cautiously
episodes
optimistic.
to give it a chance. But yeah, that one I have less hope
I feel
for
the
than
same
I
way
do
about this
Cuphead.
one as I do about Sonic Frontiers. Like, it might be good, but I want to wait and see. So, also announced Castlevania Nocturne, which, man, the Castlevania series on Netflix was absolutely amazing. This is a brand new series that will follow Richter Belmont, and so
I'm all in on that one.
Yeah,
Yes.
because
Yep.
they just don't care about Simon for some
Is it
reason.
an anime like the other one?
kind of,
Well,
yeah.
I wouldn't.
It's like
It's
the other
anime-ish.
one, yes.
It's anime inspired, but it itself is not anime.
So it's not the same style as the other one.
Yeah.
Or is it?
It's the same style.
Yeah,
it is.
same art
I
style.
think it's made by the same people. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Okay. Thanks for the
basically a
confusing answer to my
continuation.
question.
I think this is done by the same showrunners.
I'm not.
You have
I'm
to
not
tell them
seeing.
why. You have to tell them why it's not considered an anime, and I think that's
Oh.
what's confusing. Is
Because it's not being produced by a Japanese studio. A show
I mean,
can
that
be
makes
anime
sense.
inspired, say like early 2000s Teen Titans.
Right.
There are things there that are anime, but
The
it's not anime.
I'm not finished the original Castlevania series. I'm like, I have one more season left, and I don't know why I won't finish it because it will take me like 3 hours to watch.
So good. It's all.
But
so
it's kind of
amazing.
like
Yeah.
He-Man. It's kind of like the He-Man Revelations. They had a season 2, and it's like 4 episodes, and I don't know. I don't ever think to finish it. But they did also announce Netflix has new games coming to the service, including Spiritfarer and Raji, an ancient epic. Also on June 10th, Lumberjack, which had been previously announced for the Switch. I think I found a Post-it note here in my office the other day from the last Indie Direct or one of the previous ones, like where Toem was introduced and different things like that. And I'd written down all the games from it I was interested in. Lumberjack was the last one that had not been released, other than Metal Slug Tactics. And I don't think we have a date on that.
Where is it?
Yeah, exactly.
We need it. I need it.
But Lumberjack dropped. I picked this up, and it's great, but I've already beat it. Like I'll talk more about it and I mean, like when I say beat it, I beat it 100%. Like everything's done.
Wow.
No, I'll talk about it when we get to our games we've been playing. I do give it a thumbs up though. So I noticed some of y'all were like, had the grimace, like, oh, you already beat it. Well, I've already almost kind of beat Shredder's Revenge too, but anyway. June 11th was a Guerrilla Collective 3 event, and these are all games that were announced for Switch. From Space, Signalist, Madison, The Last Worker. I want to talk about this one. I want to stop here. Cassette Beasts, which looks like an 80s inspired Pokemon game where like monsters come out of cassettes and you can combine them and make new monsters that fight, like you combine their powers and it makes a more powerful version of that monster.
That sounds like
fights.
one that I wanted to keep my eye on.
Like this, and it looked good too. And it's very, like you can see, like from the trailer, super Pokemon inspired. Contract Killer, Bats, Bloodsucker, Anti-Terror Squad, Arkanoid Eternal Battle, Wrestlequest, which still does not have a date. It's still 2022. That's high
I'm
on my
interested in
list.
Arkanoid. That's like Arkanoid Battle Royale.
Yeah. That's weird. Like, how are you going to do that as a battle royale? Break Blick. I can't even say it.
You have like
Blake Blix.
100. You have it in a big
It's like
circle,
Tetris, I would imagine.
big circle, and all the blocks are in the middle, and everybody's bouncing around.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I
That
think
might
everyone
be-
will have
listen,
their own field, and you just send junk.
That
Yeah,
sounds.
like Tetris. Yeah.
I'm out.
No, it's
Also-
great. Remember? Do you remember Tetris DS when it was 2-player and like one person came in from the top and one person came in from the bottom?
Yes.
Like, yeah, do that with like
With
15 people.
100 people.
And who
That was
can finish
Marty-
it first? Who
Marty,
can finish
you
it
liked
first?
Tetris DS.
I love Tetris DS.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't know about it. Arkanoid. Like
All
it
right.
just.
Arkanoid's a proven format.
It is a
Right
proven
there.
format, but it already that game gives me anxiety
Wow.
because I can't
needs a
make the
paddle
ball go where I
controller.
want it to. Yeah,
It needs a paddle controller.
It
that's
does.
exactly right. It does
Yeah.
need a paddle controller.
Or
Like the
touchscreen.
DS had it, so maybe we'll get one for the Switch.
Joy-Con with just a dial on it.
Yeah,
Is there a paddle
Um,
controller for the NES as well?
there was.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
it was either for the NES or the Famicom, one or the other.
Yeah. Also announced during that Guerrilla Collective, Batora Lost Haven, or it was shown again, River Tales Stronger Together, Iconai Island, Time on Frog Island, which kind of looks. Did anybody else get like the vibe from Time on Frog Island that it was just like, hey, let's do Animal Crossing again?
Kind of.
Very similar.
There was
Yeah.
a few games like that.
Yeah. Also, last two, the Cub and Shashingo learn Japanese with photography.
I'm interested in the Cub.
Yeah, don't
But-
pass on the Cub. It looks
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
The Cub is a prequel to that Wasteland golf game that I didn't like.
It is.
But it was shown off like 5 different times this weekend.
Yep.
in different showcases.
Different showcases.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
apparently,
that's-
it's a part of a trilogy too.
Right.
That's something that's really interesting to me, is that several of these games like overlapped on different shows.
I think it's
right?
because they won, like, I guess, won an award from each of these showcases.
Yeah.
And that's why they came up. They were acknowledged by these groups, and then so they had their own showcase and included them in that showcase. That's how they won. So some of them were just really good at, I guess, showing up in a few of these.
I think because nobody expects you crazy people to watch every single show.
Well,
I
that's what
did.
we do,
That makes
Sam.
sense. Yes.
That's what we do.
It's more exposure too.
I only watch. Here's the thing: I didn't watch any of the ones with any Nintendo information. I watched the Xbox show on Sunday.
Gosh.
I don't know why. I was like, I got nothing to do. I'll watch the Xbox show, and I was blown away. I thought it was good. Future Game Show showed off Tray Racers, Lost in Play, Bright Memory Infinite, The Last Faith, Ship of Fools, Batora the Lost Haven again, The Night Witch, Tinykin, and Serial Cleaners. Most of those are fall or coming soon. Tray Racers is 2023. Then we got to June 12th. And this is where the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase was. And Justin, I'm going to throw to you here in just a minute, because the big news, I think one of the biggest things that came out of the Xbox Gaming Show that also affects Nintendo gamers is more information finally on Overwatch 2. And so kind of catch, if we've got listeners who are not familiar with what's going on in the world of Overwatch and has come out in the last 4 or 5 days, kind of catch us up where we stand with Overwatch 2 right now.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a great question. So Overwatch 2, for those who don't know, Overwatch exists. A while ago, Activision Blizzard said, we're going to make Overwatch 2. We saw some early footage for it, and we all went like, so what's different? What's new?
Yeah.
And I think at that time, they didn't really make a good argument for really what was deeming the moniker to be 2. And so today Overwatch had a kind of a big reveal. It wasn't too sure when it was actually coming out. Or before the Xbox event, there had been some light betas that people had responded very well to. But we actually got a final date of October 4th. Now, the interesting thing about the reveal that Overwatch has done actually is they are now changing the game. And this is the big change, to free to play. And that's actually really critical, because that is a dynamic change in Overwatch's approach. Prior to it, if right now you went on to the eShop and you wanted to play Overwatch, you had to pay, and I believe it's a full price game, even despite the fact
I think it's hanging at 20.
It's
20. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was around 20.
Despite the fact that it's came out in 2016. By the way, when it came out in 2016, it was like IGN's Game of the Year. It is a fantastic team-based shooter. There's a bunch of games that have tried to repeat it since, but it really kind of began that big online genre game that we've now seen. And I think you see that in stuff like Apex Legends, Fortnite, a lot of these Call of Duty, Rainbow Six Siege, a lot of these games, Paladins, that has kind of increased. The problem with it, and this is the question I think as a fan of the fan of the industry and a fan of the game, I very much love Overwatch, was a lot has changed in the last 5 years since this game was released, since the original Overwatch. The landscape has changed. What are you doing differently? So it's officially revealed it is going free to play, which means when this game drops on October 4th, which is the date they're holding right now, you can jump into it. You don't need to pay anything, similar to Fortnite, Apex Legends. However, there is some caveats here of you are encouraged. Their monetization model, I'm trying to actually go through it a little bit here. There is a battle pass monetization model. They definitely have. The loot boxes are now gone. Now, this is interesting because for those of you that may not know, loot boxes caused them a shitstorm in regards to gambling, especially in Europe. There was a massive change in regards to, Jesse is now writing down the timestamp that I just swore, in regards to gambling. So they actually removed the loot boxes. So they've changed their monetization model. There are some new maps, there are some new characters, and what the Overwatch team has done is they've actually created a really effective roadmap showing what they're going to be rolling out in the next several when it launches. So on October 4th, which they're deeming as season 1, there are 3 new heroes, 4 new maps, 30 new skins, a new battle pass, new mythic skin, and new game mode. And then season 2 actually starts on December 6th. So they actually have a roadmap. A couple other things is to mention here as well. It is a free-to-play live service, so everyone can jump in. There's PvP, which has been reimagined. There's seasonal modes, which is a 9-week battle pass, essentially. There's cross progression, and there is a PvE experience. So holistically, it sounds like they've done a great job preparing for this new Overwatch. I'm excited to jump into it. Where does it have legs? Again, Overwatch is a big game. We know there's the Overwatch League. There was a lot of kind of momentum around it. But since 2016, other games like Apex Legends, Fortnite, any of these big games have come into space. It's good to see them evolving, but does it have the kind of legs? And I think that this is it brings me back to Halo Infinite last year. Halo Infinite had a great pop at the beginning of the year. People jumped into it, and then they kind of fell off pretty fast. Which I'm curious if we're going to see that here. The other thing that I'm very interested in seeing, Overwatch 2, when it was originally announced, was a standalone game. However, if you had Overwatch 1, things would cross over. I listened to the conference today, and there were some words about like transformations and adjustments. And if you go onto the Nintendo Switch eShop right now, you can pre-order Overwatch 2, but you're pre-ordering you're ordering it with Overwatch the original. So I think that it sounds like
they did confirm that your skins will come over.
Yeah, it does come over. It sounds like on October 4th, you're going to hit like update my game, and it's just going to convert Overwatch 1 to like Overwatch 2 on your is what I'm thinking is going to happen, similar to like when Fortnite goes through a new season. I don't know for sure. We have no confirmation.
Okay. So remember when Rocket League went free to play?
Yep.
And then everybody who paid for Rocket League like got some stuff.
Yes.
Mhm.
Is that a thing? Because I bought Overwatch.
So there is. So as an Overwatch, pre-Overwatch owner, you will be able to log in and claim some free foundation packets, which you get 2 epic skins, player icons, and other exclusive loot starting June 23rd for being a previous Overwatch owner before Overwatch 2. So they are giving you some things.
Okay, so Overwatch
I don't know whether it's
going away. Sounds like
it is very.
They'll close those servers eventually.
They haven't.
No, I mean they're just going to convert everything over to Overwatch 2.
It sounds like it. Like here's the thing: it's not crystal clear. Like I'm like, so on October 4th, am I getting another icon on my Switch, or is it just evolving? Is it just changing?
Well, can I ask this? Has anybody here bought the Watch Point pack?
I did. Yep.
Okay, so when you bought the Watch Point pack, did you get another icon on your Switch?
So here's a flip story here. Quick story. When I got Overwatch, I was living in Europe. So I have the EU version, which means I'd have to pay for the EU Watch Point pack. And also if there's seasonal passes, would mean I have to be paying in EU funds. So I said, I ain't doing that. So I went over and on the North American side, bought the Overwatch bundle right now, which is Overwatch Legendary and the Watch Point pack, and it's together. And all that showed up on my icon screen is Overwatch, like the Legendary pack or the original one. I have logged in, and because of passwords and stuff, I got all my skins from my EU account. So everything is crossed over. That's grand. I'm happy there.
So the answer is yes. Overwatch is going away, and this is basically DLC for Overwatch.
That is essentially it.
Okay.
DLC.
Well, unless you buy the founder pack or whatever.
Forced free DLC.
So
yeah,
here's where I kind of have some issues with this, and got into kind of a discussion about this on Twitter with some folks earlier. I don't know that I can jump in on this, and here's why. Here's some reasons. I love the world of Overwatch. I thought Overwatch was super well produced and well done when it came out, but it was its own game. It was self-contained. And when they released things they released you had already bought those things. So like when Doomfist came to the game, when Somber came to the game, when the hamster ball guy came to the game, on all those other people, they just showed up. Now you could buy loot boxes and get those skins and everything, but now here's another game with another battle pass, and you've already kind of alluded to this. So now there's let's count them up. There's Fortnite, there's Apex, there's going to be Overwatch. There's
Rocket League, Call of Duty, Fall Guys. But I mean, this is the thing though, Marty, and this is the question, I think, Splatoon, right? In some ways, yeah. This is the question that we were all asking was, can Overwatch evolve in a world that has changed 5 years later?
But can I ask you this? Did you not predict earlier this year, or did someone on this show not predict that that Splatoon would get a battle pass?
I think I predicted that Overwatch was going to get a battle pass.
You may have,
but I don't remember.
I wonder at what point. I'm asking this question because everything has its place and everything has its time. When did we reach battle pass fatigue, and it starts to die out, and we start seeing casualties of that? And what are going to be those casualties? Because here's the deal: they are entering an overly saturated market with it's a proven method, but it's not a proven method for their game.
Yeah, but it's an established IP.
Mm-hmm.
They're not brand new, so they are going to have a following. Like they have a built-in following, and they know that.
And the other similar to streaming services.
Can they stay non-toxic enough to keep their following?
Yeah. And what a couple other things I found interesting about this, and then I'll quit pooping on it, but
no, you won't.
No, you're right. I won't. I'll probably be.
I'll see you on Twitter.
And look, and then you'll see me booted up on October 4th. So I mean, it's coming. I've seen. There's been a lot of lead up to Splatoon 3, with a lot of people saying, "I don't see anything different. I don't see anything different. I don't see anything different." And Splatoon 2, like when it came out, people were saying, "Well, there's nothing different. There's nothing, just Splatoon 1 all over again." Oh, but they tacked on Salmon Run, and that's it, and that's been like the drum that people have been beating for so long. Where are those people with this Overwatch news? I'm going to be straight out honest with you as well, right? I believe that Splatoon 1, Splatoon 2, and Splatoon 3, and again, Nintendo didn't know what the hit Splatoon was going to be. Splatoon should legitimately be a live service game. That's what it should be. And I think when you look at it, but they're also like, well, we can monetize hard on this, so why not? And I think Overwatch understands that they have to evolve. And I also think that if you were to say, I'm going to charge $60 for this, no one's buying it. Like, right. You're like, okay, you're giving me 3 new heroes and some new maps. You need to be better than this. And so I think that they put themselves in a corner where they have to do something dynamically different than what they could do. And they are offering that. And I think it's an interesting idea. Now, again, this, if we talk a little bit about this pass that you can purchase now, I was on the shop a moment ago. It is known as the Watch Point Pack. So you can purchase it right now. And what $40.
I don't think you can purchase it separately right now. Can you?
No, that's what I'm saying. The Watch Point Pack is $40.
It's in our notes.
It's in our notes. Okay. So it comes with the premium battle pass for season 1, 2 Overwatch hero skins, 2,000 virtual currencies, and Overwatch icons as well.
And you can buy it right now.
And
it also gets you. Now, say if it's $40, but if you don't own the first Overwatch, you also get that immediately. You can begin playing today.
Correct. Yeah. Yes. I actually don't. I know that I think someone is having an issue with this. I don't actually have an issue with this because this is the same idea as a founders pack in a lot of games. When I bought Apex Legends, it was like, hey, pay $30 and you get your legend of choice, and you can buy you get 3,000 Apex coins, which gets you your first battle pass and blah, blah, blah. I have no issues with this. I don't have a concern with it. That's what all free to play games do. It is what it is. So I have no issues with it. I think it's a fine model.
The difference between this and Splatoon 2, everybody complained that it was the same, but yet 7 million people went out and bought it afterwards.
Yeah,
and paid $60 for it. So why would Nintendo go that way?
Right. The other difference between Splatoon and this is that Splatoon is kind of like a reverse battle pass where it's like, yeah, you're paying $60 to buy the game, but then like all of the updates are free except for like the actual single player DLC that was worth $30. You know,
Yeah.
like
And-
you could
and
spend
the-
$60 up front in Splatoon, never spend a dime, and everybody gets the exact same experience.
Exactly.
And the issue with Splatoon, which is why Nintendo, it can't be the same type of games as a service game, is because Nintendo doesn't store the player data. Every player stores their own data on their own Switches, which is why they can't cloud back it up. And if you get a new Switch, you could lose all your data and poof, gone. But if it was like Fortnite and the data lived in their servers, then it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
I do think Splatoon 3 is going to have a lot of disappointment on launch, just historically, based on how Splatoon has handled launching within content and filling it out. I think that's going to look really bad. You know, the original Splatoon launched with 5 stages in multiplayer. Splatoon 2 launched with 8. There's no way Splatoon 3 at launch will have as many stages as Splatoon 2. And that's just going to look bad when you have a game with more content in the same series on the same system. Like Splatoon 3 will probably launch as a worse game than Splatoon 2, at least in terms of content.
And there will be a roadmap, right?
Mhm.
And which is, I hate that word. That's the new buzzword, is everything has a roadmap. And
But now we know what to expect from Splatoon. Like, I'm not
Right.
worried about the roadmap.
Nintendo's still like 8 years away from a battle pass anyway, right? Like it takes them that long
Yeah.
to get to that point. So
yeah, they're gonna come up with a splat pass, with Splatoon 6 or something like that. But anyway, this game's early access beta. If you get into the beta by buying the Watch Point pack, right?
There is no beta access. So there is a beta occurring at the end of June. Beta access does not include the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, then why spend $40?
Well, the $40 is for when it launches on October 4th.
But does that $40 on other systems not get you into the beta?
Yes, I'm sure it does.
Then
they're just not doing it. They're just not doing a beta on the Switch.
Well, that's very promising.
It's not ready yet.
Yeah, I said in a tweet earlier, I was like, this game, we are going to get 30 days out from this game is released. We're going to get a tweet that says from the Overwatch team, we regret to inform you the Nintendo Switch version has been delayed.
Please
understand.
Still
working. Right, please understand we're working for it, but we're excited that October 4th is Overwatch Day. Yeah,
there it is. That's what's going to happen. You're exactly right. Anyway, also on the Xbox and Bethesda Showcase, Cocoon, and I'm skipping a game on purpose. Cocoon is like a top-down isometric view, like Zelda puzzle adventure game. I was surprised this was coming
from the creators of Limbo and Inside.
Yes, I was surprised this was coming to Switch, but it is in 2023.
I'm looking forward to this one.
But also, this is the one I'm excited about. Irrationally so, and I don't know why. 2023, Minecraft Legends is coming to Xbox, PC, also coming to Nintendo Switch. Guys, this is like a Minecraft like adventure game. I don't know, like from what they showed of it, it was really hard to tell kind of what it was, but it just looks so.
Is it a real-time strategy?
I think it's a RTS. Yeah, I think
it's real-time strategy set in the Minecraft universe.
So now Minecraft makes sense, like as a name, because of like StarCraft and Warcraft. Now it's Minecraft.
There you go.
I don't know. Like my son and I were watching it, and I was like, immediately, I was like, "This is a game we can play together."
The new action strategy game.
Yeah, I'm all for this. So it's not Diablo Minecraft. We've already had that. So now we're getting StarCraft Minecraft.
RTS.
It's a Muso. It's a Muso game.
Yeah, yeah. It's
StarCraft or Minecraft.
They won't make my Animal Crossing Muso game that I've been wanting. Night of the Living Gyroids. They won't make that, but they're making the Minecraft one where you're going to fight, 100 chicken-sized pigmen.
You know what, Marty? On that note, I would not be surprised if we get some kind of Animal Crossing spin-off game in the next year or two.
Oh yeah,
something.
Let's do it. I mean, it's money.
Amiibo Festival
it's money.
2. Let's go.
Oh no. Oh, no. Notable from the PC gaming show the same day, Super Animal Royale Season 4 was announced. This is also going to be on Switch. Demon School is coming to everything.
That one looked interesting. I think that one looks It had a Shin Megami Tensei Persona feel to it, but I think it was pixel graphics.
Yeah. And Back Firewall, which I watched the trailer too, and I didn't really understand, but it looked interesting. So that's going to be out in 2022 as well.
Just before we head off the Xbox stuff, or are we going to come back to it later, Marty? Or
no, let's do it now.
I want to say a couple things about the Xbox showcase. I think that it was a really good showcase. I think they did a great job showing, again, telling you the story what was in the next 12 months. They did a lot of gameplay footage, not a lot of CG footage, which is great. But there's a really interesting, subtle thing that they ended up doing that was really interesting. I don't know if a lot of people have caught this, but Xbox played really, really leaned heavily into the Eastern market this time. And we saw that in a couple of ways. We saw that with the Persona 5 or the Persona games coming over to Xbox. That's a big get for them. The relationship with Riot Games, League of Legends, that is a massive get for them, for that audience. And then to end the show with Hideo Kojima.
Oh.
Hideo Kojima.
What a place to freeze up on here.
Yeah, can we screen clap?
I tried to screen grab it, but he cleared
say
up
Ma,
before
quick,
I could.
Justin.
Ma.
Hideo Kojima.
That was big. And I think when you continue to think of Xbox's strategy of Xbox Anywhere, cloud gaming, mobile gaming, they're transitioning more and more into that market, and they're trying to get more of a foothold in it. And I think the games that they have just signed have that kind of area, or have that kind of audience, maybe now being much more engaged. We know that Xbox traditionally does not have a large market share in the Eastern audiences. I think this was a massive move for them. I think it was really critical for them. And I think we're actually going to see this pay a little bit off for them. So it was very subtle. I don't know if very subtle to catch it, but it was a very strategic business decision that they were making. And I think they did a great job telling that story. And again, that Riot Games relationship was the one that I had said before that I was hoping Nintendo was going to seal the deal on. The fact that they've gone to Xbox might be an indicator that Nintendo couldn't seal the deal. That is absolutely massive. Remember, League of Legends now being on a console is a massive deal for Xbox. So we cannot pass
Justin,
that one.
I'll throw this out here too, that there are some things from that Xbox showcase that we have seen on Nintendo systems before because of their Skyrim, Doom, things like that were able to be brought over because Bethesda was not owned by Microsoft. But I don't know if you noticed this, but when they showed those games at the bottom, it would always tell where they were going to be.
Yep.
And if you notice, it said on Xbox consoles and PC.
Yep.
On Xbox consoles and PC. And so I don't think we should rule out, because we do know that Microsoft and Nintendo tend to play nice with each other, but it looks like we're starting to see the beginnings of exclusivity for Xbox only for Bethesda games. Which for some people is going to be a huge thing. And because those are beloved franchises. But you're right. I mean, the fact that Persona 5 Royale is going to be on Game Pass, like for free, and I put that in air quotes because that's anytime I talk about Game Pass, it's free. I mean, you're paying for it.
I don't think Persona games were Game Pass, were they?
Yes.
They were?
October 21st. Persona 5 Royale launches on, I believe, and I could be wrong. I'm going to Google it right now.
Well, I've got it in the big show notes. I just didn't paste it into the
arrives with Xbox Game Pass. Yes, this is from Xbox.com.
Okay, yep, I do see with Game Pass.
So that means Xbox Game Pass will have Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royale. And with 5 coming out first. And again, if you're not familiar with Persona series, none of those games are interlocked. I mean, there's a kind of a running theme, but you don't have to play one to play the other. So each of those is a huge get. And you're right. I think it is definitely a play for the Eastern market. It's definitely a play to sell more Xboxes in Japan.
Yeah, Microsoft has to. Have you seen Xbox sales in Japan? Like, they're sub thousands every time.
Every month they're like,
well,
300 Xboxes.
Actually, at the beginning of the year, they did outsell PlayStation, probably because of stock, but they did outsell PlayStation.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why I think, and again, it's not being talked a lot about, and everyone like gets mad at me when I say it. Xbox's cloud gaming strategy, where you can play it on your mobile phone. We know the Eastern market handhelds are a big thing, right? So now I can take my Xbox games with me on my phone, right? Like that. Yeah. And I can, like, that is a big thing that I don't think we're really considering the same way. We know that the network infrastructure there supports a lot more of like online kind of connectivity and gaming. So again, if Xbox can say, just use our app and you can play whatever game we have available to you whenever, that's going to be a big deal, right? And you connect that with stuff like the backbone and all the other like accessory connections, like, but also there's your handheld gaming.
We don't want to gloss over this too. The very first TV with Xbox integration was announced as well this week.
Correct.
There's a Samsung TV coming with, you don't have to have an Xbox. Game Pass there's an app on the TV, and all you have to do is connect an Xbox controller to it via Bluetooth. And so
is it cloud-based or is it running on the TV?
Sorry, say again, Dan?
Cloud.
It's cloud.
Okay.
Yeah, it's streaming.
Yeah, it's streaming. So what that shows me is that, well, I mean, we know Nintendo has eons, light years to go
20
to catch
years
up with
now,
that.
we'll get a Nintendo TV.
But, PlayStation Plus changed this week as well. And we were actually, my son and I were looking at it because there were, it was like you get an offer, and our offer was like, oh, if you pay $23 more, you have all these games, and so we started looking at access, and there's some games there that we would like to play that you can download. Then we started seeing the PS3 games, and he was like, oh man, I want to play that. You can only stream them, which is an odd choice.
Yep.
There's no distinction on Game Pass. Now for that TV, there will be, but like on Game Pass, if it's on Game Pass, you can download it. And that's what I do. I mean, I have the 1S that I have. I download the games I want on Game Pass, and as long as it can connect to the internet every now and make like a check, I can play it at the house. So
is that like you pack your Xbox up, take it somewhere else, and download it, and then bring it back?
Yep.
Yep.
And like I did yesterday, like there was a 34 gigabyte patch for WWE 2K22. I had to bring it to my office. I have a PlayStation plug-in and plug the HDMI cord from my Switch dock that's over by the TV here in my office, and download it and then cart it home and play it that way.
Just imagine the looks I would get if I brought my PlayStation 5 into the office and
nobody cares. It's a totally different office environment.
So going back to Persona, so all three of those games that are coming out on Xbox are also coming to PlayStation. So obviously PlayStation already had Royal. They didn't have 4 Golden or 3 Portable, so they'll be getting that as well.
So what are the odds that Nintendo is getting are getting these games?
That's where I was going with that. At least 3 Portable, 4 Golden definitely can run on the Switch. They're PS2 games, and Vita games.
I totally think that 5 could run on Switch.
I do too. It's pretty old.
The original 5 was a PS3 game, so but 5 Royal, they did enhance it a bit. I think they could make it work because it doesn't do a lot. It's more snappy in its UI and menu design as opposed
it's very
to
contained.
Yeah, it doesn't need Unreal Engine 5.
Right. Well, it'll be interesting to see if those pop up if that Nintendo Direct happens at the end of this month. I would love that because I have Persona 5, and I can get soon. I'll probably be able to get Royale, but I want to play them on the go. I want to play all RPGs on the go because I don't have time to sit at my house and play.
You'd have to think that these have been in the works for like a long time for Nintendo.
Oh, sure.
Like since they announced Joker for Smash, like this has all probably been working in somewhere.
Yeah. And I can't buy the thing. It's like, oh, he's in Persona Q. That's why he's in Smash.
Oh, they did release the Muso game that had him.
To be fair, we got Cloud well before he was on a Nintendo, unless you're counting Kingdom Hearts on DS.
Who knows?
I'm just saying that I think they were building those relationships,
probably
beforehand, and it's probably led to something like this later.
Yeah, you're right. Gorilla Collective 3.5. I'm going to just run through these real quick before we move on. Games shown off during this: Hell Pie, Elsie, Lords of Savage, Kung Fury, Ending Extinction is Forever, My Lovely Wife, Please Don't Touch the Artwork, and Research and Destroy, which is out right now on Switch.
My Lovely Wife's also out now. I shared a screenshot to the Dads After Dark people just because the menu options were weird.
Oh, okay.
You shared a screenshot of your lovely wife with the Dads After Dark people?
That's
Yeah,
that's exactly it.
That's the place to put it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's anyway. Capcom Showcase. Really, I don't think the Capcom Showcase showed anything that we didn't already know was coming, but it did have details, more details about Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. There is now a demo available for Sunbreak as well. It's coming out June 30th. Pre-orders are also available. The first post-Sunbreak content will be added August 2022, then more in the fall 2022, then the third in winter 2022, and additional updates in 2023. Needless to say, if you say that, I mean, I would rather there be Mega Man games, but Capcom supports the Switch. They're all in on Monster Hunter Rise. And so the Sunbreak, and there's other stuff coming. They also made mention to and reminded us that Capcom Fighting Collection is coming to the Switch on June 24th. It's going to include several games that are already available for Switch, like Street Fighter games, but this also is going to have Red Earth as well as
Cyberbots.
Which I don't think those two have never been on like a home console. Hyper Street Fighter 2 is going to be there, and like 5 Darkstalkers games, 2 of which were never available outside of Japan. So I'm looking forward to picking that up. And then, y'all, Capcom Arcade Stadium 2, or is it Capcom Arcade Second Stadium?
Yeah, Arcade
Volume 2.
It's a stupid title.
Capcom Arcade Second Stadium.
They missed a golden opportunity here to call it Arcadium Stadium. Anyway, it's coming to Switch July 22nd. If you buy the pack, it's like $39. If you buy the pack, you're going to get almost, I think it's a little over 35 games. And listen, some of these, y'all, are Capcom classics. Okay. Saturday Night Slam Masters is going to be in this, which, if you don't remember that, it's like it's a wrestling game, but it's also a fighting game. It's fantastic. It came to the SNES back in the day, but I can't wait to play this. Also in this, Mega Man, the Power Battles 1 and 2, which never came out of the arcade, never came to home consoles.
Not true. It was on the Mega Man Anniversary Collection.
Well, that is correct. That's right. I remember it was just the first one.
It's not on the Legacy Collection, the newer ones, but it was on the Anniversary Collection.
I don't understand. It's on the GameCube. I remember that. And this is, for those of you who don't know what that is, it is a Mega Man fighting game that is 2-player. So one person can be Mega Man, the other person can be Proto Man, and you fight the Mega Man bosses and get their powers and then use them. Like you go up the tier fighting game.
You can't play as the bosses, so it's like a boss rush, basically.
Yeah, and I mean it's a weird hybrid shooting fighting game.
You said it's 2-player, like co-op?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So Mega Man and Proto Man can fight, and they do. And at the time that it was released, I remember it had bosses for Mega Man 7. I don't know that 8 is in there, but I think it was around the time.
It's in 2, Power Battle 2.
In 2,
because you can play as duo in Power Battle 2. 8 was like the newest thing.
See, I didn't even know Power Battle 2 existed until like this week. So
these are pretty deep cuts.
Yeah, they are.
Power Battle 2 had like almost no machines in North America.
Yeah, I can't wait for this one. July 27th. I'm going all in. I'm doing the $39. And I'll never play half of these games, but that's okay because I just like having collections. I don't know why.
Do you guys think that the Capcom Arcade Stadium 1 like did well enough to, or do you think they're just putting this out to put it out?
I think they probably already had it in the works.
Probably.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, we've already spent the time on it. So
the thing is, I hardly touched Arcade Stadium 1 because they separated everything into different bundles, and every bundle had something I already owned. And I don't like double. I feel like I'm getting fleeced when I have to
But
pay,
now
you know,
this,
it's like,
I
well,
think they,
I already
offered
have
them
the beat 'em up
individually, too.
bundle.
yeah, I think they learned
So-
from the first one. So I think that they did learn a few things. And this is just one bundle. You either buy them, you buy the game separately for $3.99, or you buy them all for $39.99. So
And
That's better.
The game itself will be a free download that comes with one game called Sansan. I've never heard of it before. And then you buy the others. And then for a limited time, I don't know when it expires, Street Fighter 2 is a free download in the
original
arcades.
vanilla Street Fighter 2.
So
Yep.
Yeah.
are these games $3.99?
It's a free
this
download.
time?
Well, hold on. So Street Fighter 2 is a free game in the Capcom Arcade Stadium, that original one. And that's available now for free for a limited time.
Okay.
Yeah. Every game in Second Stadium is $3.99. Already
It's
went
crazy.
and-
The original
Yeah.
ones were only $1.99.
yeah. Inflation, man.
Yeah.
Everything's more expensive. June 14th, there was an Xbox game showcase. Nothing new was announced for the Switch. And today, we had the Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary celebration. And I thought this was super surprising. Final Fantasy Crisis Core, or Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion, which is a remaster of the original Crisis Core game, is coming to Nintendo Switch winter 2022. Can I ask this? Is there any way this comes to Switch and it's not a cloud version? I think it's going to be cloud.
It's a PSP game, right?
This is a remaster.
Okay. I mean,
They're trying to bring it in line with the remake of Final Fantasy VII.
probably
what
a
it
cloud
looked
version
like.
Then.
I think it's got to be a cloud
Yeah.
version.
They
showed a cinematic
We're
for
talking
it.
We're talking about the company that did cloud versions of the original Kingdom Hearts. So
There you go.
and it was the
Probably cloud.
remaster there in that case too. But
Yeah.
You guys skipped over Dragon's Dogma 2 about Capcom, and I'm mad about it now.
Did I? I'm sorry.
I mean,
Well,
they
it's not in
announced
the
it.
notes.
It wasn't
They
even in
announced
the, it
it
wasn't even in the
today.
notes.
They announced it today on Twitter, so it wasn't even part of their presentation for some reason.
Really?
Dragon's
yeah, they
Dogma
said
2.
something about Dragon's Dogma 10th anniversary, and then just
Well, that's how
games.
much they like it.
No, they said Dragon's Dogma 2 is in development. Oh, today they did.
Well, no, I'm saying they didn't make it in their like presentation. They just,
Right? Yeah,
it-
they had
it-
to
coming to
compete with
Switch?
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear.
I don't-
I didn't hear about. I didn't see the Dragon's Dogma announcement because
Platforms haven't been announced yet.
Yeah,
It's not far enough
It
along.
was there was nothing announced. It's just that they're working on it. Which Dragon's Dogma is amazing. So
And it
only
is
got
on
the,
Switch.
Yep.
It came out in 2019.
First one's
so
on Switch.
you can go
Yeah.
check that out. Also announced this week, a couple more little things here for news. We have an NSO game trial going on right now for Stardew Valley. June 14th through June 27th, you can download the game for free and try it out. The great thing is, if you're like me and you've already bought the game and haven't booted it up in 3 or 4 years, just booting it up will get you 100 platinum coins that you can go spend on icons, and you don't have to just download the trial version. The real version can work. Also today, right before we began to record, Pokémon Snap was announced to come to the NSO Plus expansion pack next week on June 24th. And this is following, Nintendo's strategy of announcing a new Nintendo 64 game per month and basically announcing them a week before they're due.
so this is, I think this is the last game that was announced as part of the original bundle. Am I
You're
about
right.
that?
You're right.
So-
Because it was, this is one of the ones that was flashed by right at the very end. So
You mean, Dan, it almost sounds like Nintendo needs to come out and tell us what might more be coming to their system in the next little bit?
No, they just need to drop Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah,
I agree.
This
with
is
that.
just this might
Then
just
they
be
can
the
stop.
last one we're getting.
Yeah, this
Drop
is the
it
last
on
NSO
way.
game.
could be.
Yeah, they need to drop
there
them
is
on his
still
head.
look,
the Japanese app is still getting custom robo as well.
y'all look, there's
Why aren't
no
we getting
way there's no way that they're getting out of the Nintendo 64 app without dropping Smash Brothers. Everybody knows it. It's probably going to be revealed in their June Direct or whenever it's going to, it's going to be in the next slate of games. It's like, by the
Yeah.
end of 20 or in 2023, here are these games. We've got more games coming to the Nintendo 64.
Marty, have you played Smash 64 recently?
I have.
It's
I'm just
slow.
telling.
It's not very
Okay,
good.
I understand that, but this is also the company that released Winback for Nintendo 64.
That is true.
Okay, so this is also the company that's given us Caveman games. Several months of Caveman games.
Because those games are great.
They are. They really are. The Joe and Matt games are fantastic. They're overlooked, but I'm just saying they're gonna eventually Smash. They're gonna pull its card, and it's gonna come up, and people
There's
are gonna.
plenty more to put on there. I'm
I
sure
agree.
that they're just
My game. Okay, look, my game that I want on there is never coming. So
what's that?
I want Blast Core.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I know it's never happening.
I mean,
It's
it might.
rare.
We've got Banjo.
Don't say never. Yeah,
it might happen.
I mean, it could, but you
Why
don't.
wouldn't they give us that?
Okay, look, there's a very active Banjo community demanding Bird and Bear on Switch. Nobody's like the Blast Core community rises up.
No, but
Johnny will.
But it's an easy drop for Nintendo. It's an easy drop.
Sure.
If they already have the partnership with Rare, it's an easy drop. I think that's possible.
It's such an overlooked gem. It's a fantastic game.
Yeah, I mean, we just don't know how those deals are negotiated at all. I mean, I'm sure Microsoft and Rare expect something in return. I don't know what that amounts to, what they are willing to accept in exchange for it, what Nintendo is going to just walk away from. I mean,
well, they're
not doing it out of the goodness of their hearts.
Yeah, there's rumblings of a Banjo game possibly coming in the future from Microsoft. So this is a perfect advertisement slice for them. So unless they plan on doing something with Blast Core here anytime soon, we're probably not going to get that one.
This may be blasphemy because I've only played a little bit of Banjo.
Blasphemy Core?
And I like it.
Blasphemy Core.
It's okay. Blasphemy Core. In hell, destroying
my Squirtle's
structures.
evolving. Look.
Congratulations.
So Justin, you're playing Pokemon. Justin's playing Turtles.
Welcome
to Retrologic.
There he is.
Here's the deal.
Squirtle evolved. He's playing.
I was going to say this may be blasphemy, but I don't want Microsoft to make. I don't want Rare to make a new Banjo game because the last time Rare made a new Banjo game, it was garbage. It was nuts and bolts. It was terrible.
Give it to Retro.
No, don't give it to Retro.
Mm-hmm.
Give it to Toys for Bob.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Give Banjo to Toys for Bob and let them do a love letter to Banjo like they did a love letter to Crash Bandicoot with Crash Bandicoot 4.
Yeah, Rare doesn't have a good track record of taking their old IP and recreating them in the future.
Give it to Toys for Bob.
I'm just like a Perfect Dark.
But Dan, I will say this: Retro was not even in my mind, but Next Level or Retro would be perfect.
Killer Instinct was good. The reboot, that was a good game.
That's the one. But do you remember Perfect Dark Zero?
No,
so I'm
nobody does.
And
that's
Here's the problem with that is that Free Radical left Rare. That's not Rare's fault. Okay. And they are remaking Perfect Dark, but Rare's not doing it.
And
so
we'll see.
Again. We'll see.
We'll see.
Time will tell if that's another Perfect Dark Zero or not.
That's right. That's right. Also this week, Jackbox Party Pack 9 is coming, and we know that they're doing games every now and then or announcing them. The new game that was announced this week is called Nonsensory. And I believe, Jesse, help me out with this. That brings us up to 3 games out of the 5 announced.
Yes. There should be two more coming.
Absolutely.
Nonsensory is their drawing game of the pack.
There's always a drawing game.
That was so fun when you guys did that on stream. That was great.
We'll do it again for Extra Life this year, and I fully expect
Sonic the literal
stick of dynamite makes an appearance.
Will make his return.
For a T-shirt or maybe a poster or whatever. My biggest regret from that was I did not get a screenshot of Sonic.
I'll draw you another one. Please
do. Please do. Draw it and send
I'll do it right
over.
now.
Yeah. Just put it in the chat. I don't know.
Trademark.
Well, guys, that's all of our news for this week. Let's jump over and discuss, shall we? And for our Let's Discuss section for this week, we've got Retrologic Trivia since the guys from Retrologic are joining us. And so we'll throw it over to you guys. What do you got for us?
Let me just save my game real quick. Okay, so Here's the game. We call this game Retropedia. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the description of a retro video game from Wikipedia, omitting any like obvious tells, like the name of the game or the characters in it. And so the first person to chime in with a guess, you get to guess what it is. And if you're wrong, you're out. You can't guess again.
Are we all playing or just the Nintendo dads?
Anybody can play because I made this for everyone.
So can I ask before we start, is there a theme?
Nope.
Okay.
Just video games that I thought of off the top of my head. That's the theme.
He picked a word and he looked it up.
That's what. Dang it, John. How do you know my strategy so well? Okay. I think these are in the order of like difficulty. Maybe it's hard to tell, but anyway, I'm going to start reading. You just yell it out when you think you have an answer. Okay. Ready? Blank is an arcade style flying action game co-developed by Factor 5 and LucasArts. The first of 3
Rogue
games.
Squadron.
Yeah, Rogue Squadron.
Boom. Justin wins that one.
Good job.
I thought it might be that, but I also thought it could be Star Wars X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
Did Factor 5 do those?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see. That's the thing. I don't remember.
Okay.
So
yeah, Factor 5 was the giveaway there. Okay, here's another one. Jet Force Gemini is a 1999.
Just said the name. Force Gemini.
Jet Force.
Dang it.
Jet Force Gemini. I'm in. I have a point. Points for everyone.
Next one. I have 4 total. It's fine. Okay, Blank is a 2012 cross-genre video game developed by Intelligent Systems and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo 3DS console. It is the 4th installment in the Blank series as part of them. Part of the larger Blank franchise. It is the first game in the series playable on a handheld console. In the game, Blank, with the help of a new ally,
Final Fantasy?
Nope.
Kingdom Hearts.
Nope.
You're out.
Mario and Luigi's Bowser story?
No.
Those are all on handheld.
Travel across the Blank location to retrieve 6 blanks scattered by Blank. Unlike previous Blank games, Blank uses a distinctly papercraft visual style, which is heavily
Paper Mario.
There it is.
Which one? Sticker Star.
Sticker Star. That was a tough one.
I forgot I forgot that the Intelligent Systems did Paper Mario for a minute.
I tried to burrow that out of my brain.
Yep.
Sticker Star is terrible.
I just really wanted it to somehow be codenamed Steam,
2012, it's not.
I wouldn't be that obvious, Sam. Okay. Here's another one. Blank is a 2001 platform party video game developed by Amusement Vision and published by Sega. The game debuted in Japan at the 2001 Amusement Operators Union trade show as Blank, an arcade cabinet running Sega's Naomi hardware, controlled with a distinctive banana-shaped
Super Monkey Ball.
Monkey Ball?
Got it. I almost thought about blanking out banana, but I was like, I'll give it to you guys. Yeah. Okay, here's the last one. This is hard mode now. This is hard mode. You have to dig deep into your Nintendo and like Nintendo games on a Nintendo console lore to get this one. Okay. Blank, or in Japan, Blank, are handheld role-playing video games for Nintendo's Game Boy Color. Of the 3 games, only Sun was released in North America on December 4th, 2000 by Atlas.
Robopon.
There it is.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what that is. Well, you said Sun, and it made me think of what was that game for the Game Boy Advance where you had to power it up with the sun? Was
you're thinking of
Boktai?
Boktai. I love that game.
Yes. The sun in your hands.
That's gimmick was so awesome.
One of the many games we like to play on the Retrologic podcast. So good times. One of the easier ones to set up. Some of the other ones take some setup. I didn't have any time in my life ever. So you guys got Retropedia.
I love it. I love it.
Fun
Hey,
time.
Tim,
Yes.
we're celebrating an anniversary this week.
Yes, we are.
Why don't you tell the good folks what that is and why it's important?
Sure. We're celebrating this week the 21st anniversary of the launch of the GBA in North America. And that was on June 11th, 2001. So actually it would have been last week, I guess. So, and just a note too, like, and the reason why I wanted to make note of this is because the SP came out 2 years later in February 14th, 2003. And that was when I actually started playing the GBA.
Mhm.
But the first GBA, the original one, came out June 11th, 2001. What are some of your guys' memories for GBA, you know, that you got into?
Man, we're getting old.
Right? It's the GBA can start drinking now. So
Crazy.
Right.
I remember getting mine. I got the original like Glacier non-backlit this style. Wow, that one.
Yes.
You know, I don't think I got it at launch, but I got it pretty like maybe when did like Ruby Sapphire come out? When was that?
That's a good question.
That was like a couple years in, I think.
03 or 04?
Yep.
Yeah, I want to say 03.
Oh, 2002 actually.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
1 year
2002.
in.
So I think I got it 1
Green
year
and
in.
Ruby Red or something. Not Ruby Red.
Yeah.
It was
Well, there was
and
Fire Red.
That's
and Leaf
Fire
Green.
Red.
That was 2004.
Okay.
That was later, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the Gen
Okay.
1 remakes in the Gen 3 style.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
actually
it's using
I'm
the same
playing
engine.
Fire Red right now. I'm in the middle of a game.
Nice.
But yeah, Ruby Sapphire got me a Game Boy Advance. And then yeah, it was that, and it was Advance Wars, and it was the Super Mario Advance games. And then they did the whole like NES series. So
yeah.
I played through Metroid on that. Yeah, just so much on my Game Boy Advance. Like that was and then finally getting an SP, which was like that felt like getting a Cadillac back then. That was like,
Right.
yes, rechargeable battery, backlit
Okay.
screen.
That's
Kind
where
of
I
like
jumped
gives you
in.
cramps.
Yes.
Oh yeah, well yeah. Back then we didn't care. It was just like, oh, it's got all these features, got a backlit screen, rolling.
And
in
then you
it.
had to have an adapter. Before Apple did this, you had to have the adapter
yeah.
for your headphones.
No headphone jack on the SP. Yeah.
Right.
But I just remember that like bringing it to school and just that was my thing. Bring it to school, bringing it to work. I was a cashier, and so I would just like hide it behind the cash register and play Pokemon while I'm at work. Yeah, good times playing Pokemon at school. People link cabling it up. That was so. I think Ruby Sapphire
cable.
came with the wireless adapter that like clipped into the back.
Nope, that
Yeah.
was Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Was that Fire
Yeah,
Red?
the Fire
Okay.
Red one. Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
that's
I remember.
when I had that.
I remember
Still
doing
do the old link cables with the Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah. And so that was a lot of fun doing the wireless. We thought that was so advanced. We were like, wireless, and it didn't work 10 feet away. So
I think I actually have like 4 of those, like right here. That
yeah, man, look at
for
that.
when we
Look
all
at that.
play.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I need to
Oh, go ahead.
get one. I need to get
I was
one of
going to say
those.
the link cable was definitely a big hit in our house too, especially again when the SP came later, because of Four Swords and linking it up to the GameCube and all that kind of stuff. That was a huge hit. And also with the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, if I remember the name right, but that was that game as well. Got the whole family involved in, well, the three of
It
us.
was the earliest iteration of the Wii U, right?
Yeah.
It had a controller with a screen on it.
I didn't know one single person other than myself that owned a Game Boy, which was weird
That
because
is weird.
like you look back
That is
on it and
weird.
everybody's like, oh, I love the Game Boy. I'm like, no, you didn't.
And none of you had it.
You were playing sports and
Right.
being cool.
Right.
I was
Mhm.
playing Game Boy.
Yeah, none of my friends had it either. That's why my family did. we play it. That's how I got to play all those games. Those
I will just
ability games.
I will never forget getting the original Game Boy, and because there was no backlight, right? It was late at night. We had gone to Toys R Us. The Game Boy was there. I remember putting it in the car, and I wanted to play it so bad. And they were like, "No, you can't play it. There's no light." And I got that. and
Unless you
Super
put
Mario
one
Land.
on.
Well, no, they didn't
Yes.
have one of those at the time. It was
really?
it just came out.
Oh,
So
okay.
Game Boy
Yeah.
was brand new, but I remember like getting to play. They were like, you could play for 10 minutes before you go to bed. I was like, what the crap? This sucks, And I remember going upstairs and going to bed, and then like
You can play half of
10 or
Mario
15
Land.
10 or 15 minutes later, I heard ding,
right.
and my mom was downstairs playing Tetris.
Nice.
I only ever had a Game Boy. I never had an advanced one like that. One of my one of my favorite memories of the Game Boy. The only time I have ever seen my nana or my grandmother actually lose her blank with me.
Thank you.
We were in the US. I had saved up all of my money because I wanted a Game Boy, and my mom was like, if you're buying a Game Boy, you're spending your own money. So I had saved up all my money for it. We're down in California to go to Disneyland. All right. Like we're in California. We're doing this like 3-day trip to Disneyland. It's gonna be amazing. We've got a hotel. We're like driving down to the park, and we're like passing like Targets. And I'm like, I bet you they sell Game Boys there. And then there's Toys R Us. Bet you they sell Game Boys there. Zellers. Bet you they said, my nana turns around. She's like, if I hear you say Game Boy one more time, I swear I am turning this vehicle around and you are not going to Disneyland. The only time I've ever seen my grandmother lose it on me. But it was one of my favorite memories. There is a great photo of me now pouting at Walt Disney gates because my grandmother had just yelled at me and I felt really shitty. That's another
And you
time.
didn't have a Game Boy, so
I didn't have a Game Boy. It's another timestamp for you, Jesse. You're welcome.
Yep, I'm writing it down.
So I bought the Game Boy Advance on launch day and traded in a clear purple Game Boy Color to get mine. And I'm pretty sure that's the last time I ever traded anything in. And then immediately regretted it afterwards.
Did you trade in at Funko Land?
No, at Babbage's.
Babbage's,
Which was,
okay.
Oh yeah, I
Babbage.
traded all my Game Boy stuff in at EB Games.
Nice.
Yeah. I wish I hadn't have. I was going to say good for you for not trading anything in, because now like I'm trying to rebuy my childhood,
Yeah.
and everybody's charging way too much.
Yep.
So
The best
I
Game
did.
Boy Advance memories though are like playing like Advance Wars and like passing your Game Boy Advance around
Yep.
2 players.
No link cable needed.
No link cable. Yeah,
Only
just
one
pass
copy
it.
of the game.
I did manage, like it was, I don't know if it was last year. I think it was year before last. It was in 2020. I managed to find a decent, and by decent, I mean pretty good condition Game Boy in the box, not shrink wrapped or anything, but Game Boy box with all the original manuals, the headphones, all of that on eBay. And I got it. And there he is. Sonic, the literal stick of dynamite.
Yep.
For our audio listeners,
I'll send
little
you the
history on our new mascot. Extra Life 2020. Dan joined a game of TKO
and
that we
one
were playing,
the
and
hell out of that
won
game.
with, or no, it was Champed Up. I think, it was Champed Up. So maybe it was last year. I don't know. It's been a couple years. Where you made the mascots and they fought each other, and his offering was Sonic, the literal stick of dynamite, which is a stick of dynamite with blue spines, stick figure arms and legs, and red shoes.
He's the best.
He is the best. He's fantastic. But yeah, like there's something about old school Nintendo packaging, going back to that Game Boy thing. Like I love that Game Boy box. It's so 80s, like early 90s, design wise. Like it's got like the blue hands that are all like, I don't know. If you've not seen it, you owe it to yourself. Go back and find the very first original Game Boy box. It's good. And if you've not seen it, go back and find the very first Nintendo Entertainment System box. That is pure 1984, 85. All it needs is like some shag carpeting and an old brown couch and the paneling on the wall behind it.
It's only about 3 years away from what too far ahead for wood paneling.
Yeah.
How many more Game Boys would they have sold if it had a backlight like this one?
Yeah, you're right.
How many Game
'Cause
Boys
I
would
wish
they have
mine
sold
had
if
it.
it had wood paneling?
A wood panel Game Boy, like an Intellivision.
Exactly.
Or an
Atari,
Atari.
man. Atari 2600.
Anyway, raise your Game Boys, clink them together. This is a toast to greatness. Game Boy's 21. Be a great time to bring Game Boy games to the Nintendo Switch Online app.
Hey,
Right? Right, or last year would have been when it was 20.
Yep.
Let's dive in and talk about a few events, shall we?
Hey,
Before
Marty,
we
do that. We have an ad break.
Oh, yeah, we sure do. Sorry.
All right. Well, folks, hey, big thanks. Let's go to our ad break. Thanks, Tim, for calling it. I appreciate it. Folks, of course, if you're a fan of Nintendo Dads, you have probably listened to our podcast before, and you know that our ads are brought to you this week by Manscaped. And ladies and gentlemen, we are a couple days away from Father's Day, and I encouraged you last time that, hey, you should make sure if you want to treat dad right, that you are indeed heading over to manscaped.com using the promo code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping, because they make absolutely amazing products that we love here. You can get it for your dad. You can get it for your father-in-law. You can get it for your brother. You can get it for yourself. Maybe your friend across the street. It's not weird if you give someone shaving material for your goodies. Right? You know, hey, that's fine. That's not a problem at all. But of course, Manscaped is so much more than just below the belt grooming. They have amazing products that take care of you all the day routine. They have got body wash. They have got shampoo and conditioner. They have got deodorant. They've got hydrating spray. They have got lip chap. So many amazing products. And by the way, not only do they make amazing like products and lotions, I'm going to tell you this true fact. They make some really comfortable underwear as well. You can actually head over to Manscaped and buy underwear straight from them. And also, by the way, might I highly recommend the Tool Shed, which is a fantastic to-go container for all of your bathroom essentials. I don't know about you, but it's summer. I'm getting ready to travel, and I can guarantee you my tool shed is full of all my Manscaped products, like my crop preserver, like my ball deodorant, like my regular deodorant, like my chapstick. You never know, you get some chap lips. And I'm pretty sure it also has a foot spray, because you know what? Sometimes when you're outside and your feet smell kind of funny, maybe because you're wearing some sandals, they've got a fantastic foot spray as well. So of course, gentlemen, I'd encourage you, use the code NINDADS, NINDADS at NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping when you check out at manscaped.com. Marty, back to you. You're on mute, Marty.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Can you just play that event music again just because it's so nice? You know why it's so nice? Because it's from Mega Man. That's right. Tim, it's almost time for the dinner table. Why don't you tell us what's up?
Yes, tomorrow night, or if you're listening to this on a Friday, it's tonight. Every third Friday of the month, we all get together in the community to talk about stuff, just stuff, all kinds of stuff. This week, we're going to talk, the main dish is going to be about what did we get or not get for not E3. And some of us thought we'd have a Nintendo Direct by now too, but we didn't get that. So we're just going to talk about what we saw, and then also probably talk about in what we call the cocktail hour, probably what we usually talk about, and that's some Disney Plus stuff like Obi-Wan. We'll probably be talking about that. So, but yeah, we also talk about all kinds of stuff, what's been going on in our lives, maybe even some, mental health issues or something like that. I don't know. It's all kinds of stuff comes up. We just talk. Bunch of dads get together and talk. So, or maybe some that aren't dads yet. So, but they still come and join the conversation. So, which is all good. Again, every third Friday of the month, we get together in the community, and you can join too if you're a subscriber to either our Patreon or Twitch. And you can come join in our Discord. And that's how we get together at 10 p.m. Eastern time. That's the event.
Yeah. Even if you're not a dad, we're equal opportunity conversators.
That's correct.
Conversers.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe you're not even a dad. Still, everybody.
Just by joining the Discord, you become a dad.
Dads with no kids.
Exactly.
Kids.
You could have fur babies.
News to me.
What did you say, Justin? We can't hear you.
Justin's muted or something.
I was going to say, it's exactly. You show up, you join our Discord, we will ship you a child. You instantly become a father.
Gosh.
We're just raining babies.
That's exactly
And
how it
Dan's like, oh
happens.
God, no, please.
Yeah.
No trafficking jokes. Come on.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Just
I don't
Yeah,
try- I
we
don't
don't-
try- No, just
Just
send
in
them.
case anybody is out there listening, hello, FBI agent number 254321. Justin is not shipping kids anywhere.
No,
We are not
no.
shipping kids anywhere.
Gosh.
Thank you, Dan. Lord
Jesse-
have mercy.
Jesse with his mail bomb and Justin over here shipping kids. What's going on?
What kind of packaging does that
Oh.
take?
that's
We
my
are
question.
moving. We are
just
moving
like
on.
just like any child, you have to pay us. All right, you have to inevitably pay us.
We are moving on. It's time for Jesse's Pokéminute.
I hate you all.
Love it.
This one's a different Pokéminute than normal. Instead of information about what's coming up in the game, it's about the game in general. Trainers still using Android 6 OS will no longer be able to play Pokemon Go with the next update. Niantic says that there are no changes to the supported devices, so it sounds like any device using Android 6 can upgrade to Android 7 or higher. For comparison, Android 6 was released in October of 2015, Android 7 in August 2016. If you're still using a phone that old, what's wrong with you?
Especially in Android. They don't last that long.
Yeah, if you're, hey,
How many batteries have you gone through?
Yeah.
it's 7 years later, guys. It's time to hit the upgrade button.
Yep. Yep.
I thought at some point, like, doesn't it just force you to upgrade?
Yeah, because it dies.
They melt.
Like,
Your
well,
old
yeah, I
phone
mean, at
just
some
orders
point
a
they
new
just,
one
it's
on
kind of
its
like
own.
it's kind of
One
like a
year-
stick of chewing gum, you know, they're like the fruit stripe gum. It's like for 5 seconds, it's flavorful and then it goes bland. And if you chew it longer than 30 minutes, it disintegrates into that like weird
1 year,
You
papery
swallow it.
texture.
in 1 year, they literally exploded in your hand.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah, Samsung.
Or
Oh
up
my
at your
gosh.
ear.
S9 or something.
That was
like
the
that?
Note.
Yeah.
That was the Note 7.
Or Note 7.
The
yeah,
Note
that's-
7, I remember because I
Because
had
I was going to get one.
we actually had a friend who had to throw hers out the window driving down the road because she
Did it catch
like picked it
fire?
up. Well, she picked it up and it was hot. And then she noticed the back of it was like curved. And she was
So-
like, yeet.
So like a Nintendo Switch.
She yeeted it out the window.
Yeah, do you remember when they weren't allowed on airplanes?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, she literally just drove to the store like right after that where she got it. And she was like, so my phone is out in the highway because it was getting hot and the back was blowing up on it. Can I get a new one? They were like, oh yeah. We'll take care of you because I mean, there was
Check out our chat. Nintendo or Venom NC or NYC says was working at Samsung of America during that time. Some crazy meetings.
Sure.
that would be some fun post-show insider
Oh.
baseball chat.
Oh, to
right
be
there.
a fly on the wall.
Yes. So guys, our phones are literally exploding and like burning people's cars and homes down. What do we do?
Let's get working on the
Ah.
S6 or
Right.
whatever. 9.
Give them the next.
They just dropped the Note 7. They were just like, okay, we're
We're just going on to the
launching
Note 8
8.
next month.
Yep.
Well, anyway, let's talk about what we've been playing, shall we? And as our tradition, our guests get to go first. And so one of you guys, Dan, John, Sam, y'all have at it. What have you been playing?
I'm gonna defer to the other guys first. I'll go last.
I've been playing a lot of stuff, so
Go,
I
Sam.
guess I'll go first.
Yep.
We'll start with the most recent. I just got on the Monster Hunter Sunbreak demo. Fought one of the new monsters that's featured there, the Astalos, not the I already forget the name of it. The new vampire dragon thing. That's supposed to be the hardest one. So I was warming up with this other one first. There are 2 other ones, but they're repeat monsters. So you're not really getting as much of the Sunbreak exclusive stuff. You still have access to some of the new things though, like new switch skills for your weapon and whatever. So that was fun. I mean, it's very much expected. It's still Monster Hunter Rise. I also dipped just a little bit into TMNT Shredder's Revenge, which just came out. So I'm at like the 4th stage in the story mode. Got a chance to switch between a couple different characters, play as April, Splinter, Donatello, Raphael. Good times. You can tell this game was made by people who love the Ninja Turtles, who love Turtles in Time specifically, I think. All those little, the second stage is literally Big Apple 3 p.m. instead of 3 a.m. All that. I was really pleased with the bosses of stage 4 as well, because I was like, I had toys of both these guys. So,
yeah.
And they look exactly like I remember them. So yeah, it's definitely heavy dose of Turtles nostalgia for anybody that has that. So
do we all want to?
I was going to say, let's park here and let's talk about this, because I know, Justin, you just put a video out. Yeah, over on our YouTube channel. You loved this game.
Oh my God, this is like I'm and it's funny because Marty, you're like, Justin's playing TMNT right now. No, I am like legitimately. I'm playing it right now. I'm on stage 3. It's going well. Playing as Leonardo. This, like, I was totally like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hit when I was a certain age. Absolutely loved it. Turtles in Time, Turtles the arcade game. This was like a weekend for, like, these were the things that I loved. Like, there is no thicker nostalgia. So the moment I jumped in and started playing this, it all came back to me. It's all coming back to me.
Were you singing the theme song? Did you, when you booted up the game and it started playing the theme song? Did you sing along?
Oh my gosh! Like I was,
yes.
I was. Like it was all everything I wanted it to be and more. I love this game so much. I think it's great. I have nothing wrong to say that. I haven't played it online yet, so I'm a little bit curious how that's
I haven't
going
either.
to work.
So I dove into it earlier this afternoon, playing exclusively as Donatello, because that's my turtle.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
The best turtle.
And I am on episode 11.
Wow. Or
so,
level 11?
Well, they're called episodes. So
okay.
I'm on episode 11. Just got there right before I came for the show tonight. I'm playing on chill mode though, so I'm just wanting to enjoy it. I want to say this. I said on an episode a couple weeks ago that I wasn't I wanted this game to be so good, but I was a little bit afraid because Streets of Rage 4 just felt off to me when I played it.
Streets of Rage 4 is fantastic. I don't know what's wrong with you.
It is, well, it feels slow. It feels like in some ways you feel like you're moving through molasses. However, I will say this, Sam, I've been revisiting Streets of Rage 4 in preparation for this game and have been thoroughly enjoying it. I got the DLC. I'm about to beat the main game and go through that. Part of my frustration stemmed from the fact that I was playing on just the normal level, and by the end of the game, it was almost like you had to have 2 people or more to even make it through a stage. And so I just didn't care for that. They fixed everything about this game. It's accessible. It's speedy. There's so many callbacks. Y'all, I'm not going to spoil any of it, but Justin, I know you've probably found some. Like, there's characters to find. There's secrets. Yeah. The music is fantastic.
There's achievements.
Yeah, there's achievements. They've included everything, y'all. Like, there's the turtle van. There's the turtle blimp. Can I tell you what my Friday night plans are for tomorrow night? Because I'm so super excited about this.
Get pizza, play Ninja Turtles.
My daughter,
like you're 12 years old.
Is having a sleepover with her friends. As you know, we live in a house where there's 2 houses together. So they're going to be on one side of the house. My son and I told him, I said, we are going to stay up. We're going to go get Pizza Hut pizza. All right. Because that's the early 90s. We're going to get Pizza Hut pizza. We're going to get soda. We're going to get chips. We're going to get candy. And we're going to beat Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge together.
Can I come to sleep over at your house tomorrow?
Yes.
Can I bring my pajamas and my favorite stuffy? Because this sounds like an awesome night.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. I feel. But
you're 100%.
I'm like you. I was a kid of a certain age when the Turtles came out. I watched every episode of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon series, and this is so faithful to it.
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Konami is releasing a
Cowabunga collection.
Cowabunga collection, right? When is that supposed to come out?
I think it's
release
July.
date yet.
No date yet.
No release
No
date. Okay.
This is so good. It is.
I think they wanted to get this out. This sounds bad, but they wanted to get Shredder's Revenge out of the way.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't cannibalize sales of the Cowabunga collection, which it's not.
Yeah.
I love Mecha Dragon statements here. You need bagel bites and Capri Sun. Man, those are so referenced.
Oh, listen, we are making fruit punch Kool-Aid. That's also on the menu for tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Hawaiian punch.
You just need a Bigfoot pizza, but I don't know if you can get those anymore.
Call Reggie.
Have you? I saw a series of tweets this week that was about Hawaiian punch, and it was like, how can Hawaiian punch be the only beverage that you put in your fridge for like 10 hours and you get it out and it's still not cold? Like it has like this weird consistency, it's not a.
That's funny.
You know, and here's
made
the thing,
out of Hawaiian lava.
Yeah.
Did you know that it was supposed to be like, I think I read this, it was supposed to be like a flavoring that you poured on top of ice cream, and then somebody drank it, and they were like, and that's what it was developed for. That's why it has that weird consistency.
I think it's
anyway.
Yeah,
we're going
like 2-gallon jugs.
Yeah, we're going all out. It's gonna be great. We're gonna have
It's fruit chocolate syrup is what it is.
Yes, it is. That is exactly right.
With a generous definition of fruit.
I think we can all say, and Sam, we want to. Yeah, it's like fruit in quotations. We want to get back to the games you've been playing, but I think we can all say, for those of us who've played this game here, this is a wholehearted 110 thumbs up.
Mm-hmm. I still have to play it. I'm
yeah.
so mad at myself. I haven't put any time into it.
I've got it here, but I haven't started yet. So
yeah,
it's coming.
And can I say
think
this?
After this episode, we all need to jump online and team up and see how the audio
yes.
I'm just not going to sleep tonight. It's fine.
Down with that?
That's fine.
I'm down.
And here's another thing too, just as a kind of across the board statement. If I think it should be an industry-wide standard or rule that if you have a digital release game and it says it's coming out on a certain date, that means midnight of that date, right? Like Nintendo does it. But then, like,
I
these
think
guys
it's good
waited
to know when it's coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's midnight. They're just pay the guy the extra amount of money to stay at the office that night and push the button. Order him a pizza.
Or crazy idea, just release it earlier.
Computers that run these things that can be automated.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, it doesn't even have to be midnight because honestly, I usually don't stay up past midnight. Sometimes I do, but I mean, movie theaters learned a long time ago that waiting till midnight for a movie release was dumb because way more people would turn out if you actually had showings at 7 or 9 or 10.
Like
even GameStop at the end of the midnight releases was doing them at like 9. Like, guys, we want to go home too.
But yeah, Turtles is great. It's pretty much exactly what it needs to be. So,
yep.
Awesome.
Anything else you've been playing, Sam?
A lot. So I've actually been playing a lot of Steam demos for Steam Next Fest. This is something that Steam does around E3 season each year now, and it's something I do appreciate out of the, no physical E3 convention taking place because it involves a lot of demos going live on the Steam store. And most of these usually stay up afterward. They're not like limited time demos, but a lot of them will launch around this time. And a lot of these games are coming to Switch as well. So I do think it's worth mentioning. So I played demos of, Brock the Investigator, Frogun, Melatonin, Potion Permit, and Wrestlequest. And I'd say probably the highlights out of there are Frogun, Wrestlequest, and probably Potion Permit. I did like Melatonin. I don't know. I'd be willing to give it another chance. It seemed like I couldn't really sync the audio up correctly or calibrate it correctly. And I was actually talking to our friend Seth at All In about that, and he said he had some problems syncing it up too, because it's very much, it's a rhythm game. I'm not always into rhythm games, but it's very much like a Rhythm Heaven love letter. So if you're into Rhythm Heaven, give that one a look. But yeah, those were all quite a lot of fun. Potion Permit, I was really impressed by as well. To me, sometimes games like Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley can feel a little too it's like there's almost nothing to do because there's no real objective. It's like, oh, you just kind of do whatever. And like it's like a Stardew Valley that has more definite objectives. So instead of being a farmer, you're a town doctor, essentially. And people in the town, you have a whole town, all these people with schedules, they go around and do their things, and you try to help build friendships, earn their trust and things by talking to them and giving them gifts and stuff. But you're also a doctor, and so people in the town get sick, and you'll have to diagnose and cure them by basically doing little mini games and then collecting resources and brewing potions. And the potion brewing is actually like a kind of like a puzzle element where you have to each ingredient is like a block, and you have to fit the blocks into a certain shape, and you have to do it with only using a certain number of blocks. So it all kind of comes together really nicely. And like I said, if you wish Stardew Valley was a little bit more objective based, like the game was kind of giving you things to do every day, it's very interesting in that way. And also Frogun, because it's, I don't know, you have a frog gun, and it's just this like low poly indie platformer.
The gun is a frog. The gun is a frog, or the guy with the gun is a frog.
The gun is a frog.
Yep.
Okay. Who has
the gun? It talks to you too. It gives you advice.
I
But yeah, I mean, you have a frog gun that basically shoots its tongue out, and you can grab enemies and then spit them back out, or grab onto walls and pull yourself to them.
I was going to say, please tell me you can swing with it. I mean,
there's actually not so much swinging as it's usually more like grab and pull.
What did you just show, Tim?
Wait.
Oh, he's playing TMNT too.
Yeah.
Great.
On
Ninja
what?
Turtles.
Podcast over. So
Game Pass on my
Game
phone.
Pass.
Oh,
okay.
I was like, I don't have this game yet. I've been like,
all right, so
Yeah,
that's our
just-
show. We're gonna go
just
play
end
Turtles.
Honestly, just end the podcast. Let the listener go play too.
Yeah. Any other games? Sorry.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know if I have time to talk about all those demos. I think you would enjoy WrestleQuest a lot, Marty, because I know you're a big wrestling
I
fan,
can't
and
wait
it is
for that.
heavy on the wrestling references.
Yes.
And it's also, I mean, it kind of surprised me to think about it, but it's a lot like Paper Mario, because there's
Really?
there's action commands it's an RPG with like action command like timed inputs to do more damage. And there's a hype meter, like you hype up the crowd by doing well, basically, and then you can like sort of like spin the hype to do special things.
Is this Sam? Is this the one where they actually like kind of got some of the rights for some of these old wrestlers? Like,
Yeah.
Macho
So I
Man.
mean, you play as Randy Santos for most of the demo.
right? Yeah, I remember. Kind of funny. Greg Miller was talking about that this week, and he said it was like he loved it.
But the interesting thing too is they're all toys too. They're all like
Yeah,
wrestler
yeah.
action figures.
Huh.
And then they
Okay.
actually are populated in a world where everybody's toys. So you have other wrestlers, but you also have like Lego people and like potato heads and things walking around. So it's like a whole toy universe.
When's this
It's
supposed to come to
interesting.
Switch?
I believe it's coming to Switch. I don't
Yeah,
know
it
what
is.
the
coming
date on
this
it
is coming to
is.
Switch.
It's like a Wreck-It Ralph type universe.
Huh.
There is no I mean, most of them, this is just their world. I don't think they know their toys.
Oh, okay. Or like
This
Toy
is just
Story. I
this
guess,
is just
more or less.
reality for them, I guess.
Maybe we're
Um,
the toys.
But there's
Mm.
also the stuff I've been streaming. So I've been streaming Mother 3 on Mondays on the Retrologic Twitch
Mother
channel.
Free Mondays. I love it.
So yeah, that's got on to chapter 4 now. So kind of getting into the heart of the game. Finally got to play as Lucas. And I also rolled credits on a game I've owned a long time and never beaten, Tuesday, also on stream. Hamtaro Ham Hams Unite for the Game Boy Color. So
Nice.
it's a short game, but I never beat it for whatever reason. So yeah, fun fact, it is the last Game Boy Color game that Nintendo published themselves.
Really?
Yep. The later games in the series were actually developed by Alpha Dream. Not that one, but Ham Ham Games and Rainbow Rescue were developed by Alpha Dream, and they actually used them to prototype some of the mini games in the Mario and Luigi series.
Why did Hamtaro have like the bomb developers?
It's because Hamtaro is the bomb, man.
I mean, I like Hamtaro. I'm just wondering.
Why is Mick Kids good?
That's a good question too.
That's a whole nother show.
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, it's same question.
We'll have you on an on-topic retro.
Yeah,
episode.
And of course, I have also
kids.
been playing Mario Strikers since it came out, and it's a blast.
We want to sit in this pocket and talk about that game.
I think so because it's going to be on my list too, and
that's my last one. So I'll hand it off to anyone else who wants to.
Justin,
talk about it.
You I think out of anybody on our show, probably were in the pocket for Mario Strikers more than any of us. I mean, I was excited about it because I thought the demo was pretty good.
Yeah,
but what have your thoughts been a week out?
So I have not played online. I've only played the cup tournament stuff. And I just feel overall the game feels thin.
Mm-hmm.
And that's disappointing. And maybe the fun about it is in league, right? And the league doesn't start, I think, for a couple more days. I apologize. I think it's like 4 days out. The controls, once you figure it out, are enjoyable. The characters are fun, but it feels very much like Mario Golf and Mario Tennis.
Isn't this what the latest sports games have been like, though? Is they always release thin and then eventually
and I guess like shame on me because I was thinking that it was gonna be.
We already had this conversation.
Yeah, but I think well, we hadn't actually got our hands on it yet. Right.
Do you think there was going to be like some extra unlockables that people hadn't seen yet?
I was kind of thinking that. And so, I mean, I went through, a cup in less than 20 minutes one day. I was just like, I'll just power through. Right. Wasn't super challenging. I do like the fact that there's, it's kind of like Smash meets soccer. Right. It definitely feels, I think calling it soccer is pretty loose in that there's a ball and there's a net. Right. But it is very much like, hey, we've got these, these weapons from Smash or from Mario Kart. I'm having fun with it, but the solo experience is pretty tough. And so I don't know if maybe playing online will be better. I'm having fun with what I'm playing, but I'm like, it's just another example of, I thought there'd be more than this, and just doesn't feel like it's got the depth. I'm not asking for like a, moving novel kind of depth solo player, but I just expected something a little bit more.
Well, with golf, at least there was like a single player experience, right? It wasn't
Except
just like
nobody liked it.
Well, no, but
it wasn't that good.
It wasn't, but at least they tried, I guess is my point. This is just like, hey, here's a list of cups. If you want to play them, you can. You get some coins and you go buy some accessories. And once you do that with everybody, you're done until there's another update.
I hope it doesn't follow the trend that Nintendo sports games on the Switch have been doing. Like Aces had quite a bit of support afterwards, but it was very long and drawn out, and a lot of people had already dropped off. And then Golf came out, and there was even less support. Like, what have we got? Just one update, 2 updates, maybe, that added some characters.
Golf's over with. It's done.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they didn't support it for near as long as they did tennis. So hopefully, Strikers, at least gets more than 1 or 2 updates.
Listen, I know there will be people who disagree with me on this, but this is my thoughts on it. These games seem thin because that's what happens when you put all of your eggs in the online basket. Yeah, that's what happens when you hang all of your hopes on people are going to play this online and it's going to blow up and it's going to be huge. And we forget about the fact that a lot of people, they're going to play it online, but they're going to dabble online. They're not going to like go all in like on Mario Strikers or Mario Golf or whatever. There's very rarely, there's a rare breed of people who do that. Right. And so when you neglect the single player, you neglect even stuff at home, like just offline, Nintendo Switch Sports is the same way.
Well, the online is still
eggs
missing
in the basket
things.
Online.
The online is still missing things too. For being a full blown. If you're going to concentrate on online, then you need to go all out.
Namely, the ability to actually play 4-on-4.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Or
at least
even
to
like
connect.
If you got clubs, why can't you play against other clubs? Because we've been talking about this, right? It's like we just had this conversation offline about doing like cross club contests or whatever with other communities, but there's no capability of that right now.
The problem with Mario Strikers is that it sings in a local multiplayer scenario. That's like, in my experience with Original and Charge, that's where the most of the fun is. Like, online is fine, but it's a little bit like Smash Brothers in that way, where like you want to play next to somebody who you can like trash talk, and like, you know, it's that kind of game. It's a much more frantic like experience, and it's not like Splatoon, which like sings online, because it's essentially like you and a squad that you don't have to talk to. Like, you can do your own thing. It's just built for local multiplayer, and unfortunately they've like kind of trying to like shove online down our throats. I don't know.
Actually, I view it more like them trying to continue to shove local play down our throats rather than evolve to allow playing online with other people.
But it's not allowing. It's more like the game of Mario Strikers is best played in local multiplayer, and that's not going to change. That's just how the game is. It's the same as Smash Brothers. So like, yeah, I don't know how you fix that.
I don't. And here's the thing, like, when I say it, that you're putting all your eggs in the basket online and the blah, 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 that's fine. That's fine. Have a robust online mode. Have a good, competent, well put together, feature rich online mode, but also do the same for people who don't want to play online.
Right.
Or can't.
You've got like right here. I mean, like in Mario Strikers, there's maybe 10 characters, 5 items, 5 stadiums to choose from, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you just play soccer.
I think we're going to get characters along the way. What we're probably not going to get is anything like a single player mode.
Sure. Yeah, I don't think that's coming. But
are the restrictions for online play due to just capability right now, do you think? Like, are we ever going to get, was it promised?
It does.
For individual systems?
Well, it was promised that we can play 4-on-4, but they never said that you could connect 8 systems, because you still technically can.
Yeah,
if everybody,
if
you have 2 people per system, you can play 4-on-4 with each person controlling 1 player. But that's unlikely to happen for most people's situation.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Is this a point where, is the problem that Nintendo needs to just, bite the bullet and finally upgrade their infrastructure online?
I don't know why this would be so much harder, though. I mean, Splatoon is 4v4. It has no problem doing that. Obviously, Splatoon's not perfect, but I don't see why this game. I can understand why a game like Smash, it would be hard. I'm not so sure with this game why it would.
Well, this game didn't even get an online test. Like, usually all the test strike and the stuff for Splatoon, like they were testing out their online.
Well, they
did.
They did with Strikers.
Oh yeah, they did
the weekend before
weekend deal. Yeah. So maybe there's an issue there with doing 4 separate switches that they've encountered. Maybe that's why we're not getting it right now.
It's dumb. I'm mad. I love Mario Strikers. Mario Strikers Charged was like probably one of my top played Wii games, and I was so excited for Battle League.
Well,
and then it was just like, now I'm just not.
And the fundamentals of the game, I think, are really good.
Oh, sure.
And I think the same about especially Mario Tennis Aces. A little bit. I still like Mario Golf. Maybe it's because I'm just not as into the golf. I still think it was competently done. I do think golf on the Switch is maybe not as good as it was on the GameCube, but I actually think Aces is the best mechanically the best iteration of Mario Tennis.
I liked golf for the Switch.
I can't really speak for Strikers because I haven't played the previous ones.
I like 3DS's golf better. just because of the
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say they
The
like.
asynchronous play
The
was
gameplay
where
of
it was at.
Strikers is not very different, and it doesn't need to be because the gameplay of Strikers is solid. It holds up. It's next level games at their best. But
Aces didn't have a high bar to meet with against the Wii U version of Mario
Right.
Tennis.
Oh gosh.
But I actually think the N64 holds up really well.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Better than N64 Golf, for sure.
What's wrong with N64 Golf?
After playing the new version of Golf, it's
I mean, okay, I guess I'll give you that.
it's going back.
I'll
was
give you
like
that.
was a wake up call.
Yeah.
Trying to play it.
I think as far as single player modes, what would probably benefit more is not so much like a story mode per se, is just like a season mode or a like a legacy mode, like a way to like manage a club roster, have it track stats over the course of a season, have you try to like qualify, and it's basically just instead of, because they give you the cups, which are like a tournament bracket, just do something that's like a whole season with a tournament at the end. It would just be a way to stretch out so you're actually building towards something,
Gentlemen,
playing game after game.
it's 2 words: battle pass.
My God.
Oh my gosh.
Battle pass, no.
Moving on.
We don't need those.
Yeah, we don't know.
Get that out of my Mario Strikers.
Yeah,
Mario Strikers
absolutely.
Battle League Battle Pass.
Need something though. I don't know.
absolutely. Here's the thing. It's a fun game, and I agree with Dan. I think it's probably best played couch co-op. I know when I played it during the test kick or whatever, and it was all online. I mean, it was pretty fun online, but how long does this last? You get what I'm saying? Like, how long does it hold up without updates? I think they're going to have to update it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, what I'm excited for most, and again, maybe we're fortunate, but I'm excited about the club. I'm excited about our community, right? Just like when we did the golf tournament, I'm excited about what content creators and what communities, what fans and friends can do to do something about it. That's kind of what excites me about it. I really purchased it to play it with the community, very similar to golf, but I also believe that only has so much legs, right? Because like we can be playing this, we're like, oh, it's great with the community. Oh, by the way, instead you guys want to play Fall Guys with the community? Do you want to play something else, right? Like there's so many other things that could take that space. But I believe like it doesn't feel full, and it's getting frustrating with this. Like, don't worry, pay for it, and we'll get it to it eventually. And they talked about, we have updates. You haven't told us what the updates are, and I know that, Marty, I'm going to use a word you hate. Show me your roadmap. What does that look like? So that because right now, if I'm judging you on what you have in front of me, I'm not impressed. I've had some fun. I think the graphics are great. There's some parts of it, but it just does not feel there yet. And
Justin,
I think
I
it's
do have to
disappointing.
say the cards you got are pretty freaking awesome. I can't stop.
The
thinking
cards
about
I
those
got were
cards.
banger. Yeah, 100%.
Those were cool. Why don't we get stuff like that?
Right. I gotta
But I
pay-
mean, here's
gotta
the
pay
thing.
Like 50
I should
bucks
not
to have
be-
them shipped from Australia.
I should not be more excited for the pre-order bonus that EB Games gave me than the game,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But by the way, the Donkey Kong one, Dan, look at me. It's sick. Do you know what I'm saying? It is a good looking card.
It's a good looking card.
A good looking card. Like maybe you should get it framed, put in a case.
You know
You know what I'm saying?
thinking about it.
Yeah,
He's a good looking ape.
it's a good looking
Good
ape.
That's a good looking ape.
Also, it's got French. It's got French on it as well because it's sold in Canada, right? So bonjour.
What is
Oui.
Donkey Kong in French?
Donkey Kong.
Le Donkey Kong.
Le
You
ape.
dirty Frenchman. Huh?
I will say, Justin, your comment about the roadmap, if they would just go out and they would say, okay, we're going to support, like they've done this with Mario Kart, right? We've got this many packs. They're coming and it's coming by this time and it's tracks. That's a roadmap, right? If they would say, hey, guess what? Mario Strikers is launching now. We've got a content roadmap that's going to carry us through this time or the beginning of 2023. And you're going to get 2 new game modes, 3 new stages, and 5 new characters. Solved, right? I mean, that makes me feel a little bit better. And I'm not just saying that because it's my idea. I'm just saying that like it lets me know, hey, something is coming. You're not just going to leave this game here to die.
Yeah, I don't like where this whole thing's going with games getting updates over time, just because you know we have the people on.
Hi.
I've played Super Famicom. I played Famicom Disk System games last week. Games that are 35 years old, and they are exactly the same as when they played them 35 years ago. Someone 35 years from now trying to play this game on Switch isn't going to have the same experience because they just have the cart.
Yep.
Maybe.
Unless and they don't sell. I mean, Nintendo's shown they're not going to sell a Smash all-in cart or and then
the
Mario
carts
Aces
themselves are getting
cart.
rarer because the game sells 2 million units. But yeah, that's what 1.2 million carts.
That's true, even of games
like,
that don't do this. Almost every game has a day one patch. That's just how game development is now. And it's a practice that has its advantages, but that comes with disadvantages.
Yeah, it's a problem. I go back and I play Charged, and it's the same game that I bought when I bought it 16 years ago.
Yep.
But Battle League is going to be different in 15 years, and I don't like it. I'll just play Charged.
So how do we stop it? We quit paying for it?
That's apparently a future Nintendo problem, right?
Yeah.
At least that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying by not saying anything.
Yeah.
That's Robo-Dog Bowser's problem.
I'm a little weird. I'm a little bit confused as to why Nintendo, if they just did Mario Strikers DX and it was a remastered version of the GameCube game, which was perfection. That put online and then you could play all the features of Strikers, and now it's on your Switch, and it's in a very expensive GameCube game that people want to play. Now it's on your Switch, and they don't have to lay. I don't know, guys. I don't have all the solutions.
Then that spoils the NSO GameCube app that they're going to put out 5 years from now.
No.
But I mean, think about this.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a unique. I mean, stuff like this is and people would cry about that. They'd be like, "Oh, it's just a remake. It's just a remake." But then you've got Sony, on the other hand, who has remastered The Last of Us, and now they're remaking the remaster.
This is true.
Everything's just a remake now. It's just,
they're splitting. Instead of Final Fantasy VII being 3 discs, it's going to be 3 separate games.
Yeah, that's. I was hoping it was just going to be 2, but that's just me. All right, well, that's Mario Strikers, and that's what Sam's been playing. John, Dan, y'all want to add anything about what you've been playing?
I haven't been playing anything. I've been playing Pokemon Fire Red, so I don't know.
I could say a few games Nintendo wise. I've been playing a game called Bladed Fury. I don't even know if you guys would know what that is, but it's a Chinese platforming game that's just like a combat platformer. It's looks really good. It's got watercolor type graphics, very sharp. It's not very long. I think it's a 2.5, 3 hour long game. So I think I'm most of the way through now.
On what system?
On Nintendo Switch.
Oh, okay.
It's on all platforms, I believe, but I've been playing on the Switch. And then I've also been playing Biomotor Unitron on the Switch, which is a Neo Geo Pocket Color game that they've been putting a lot of Neo Geo Pocket Color stuff on the Switch here lately, individually. This is one that didn't make it on the collection. And I've also been playing Bionic Commando for the NES for the next episode of On Topic Retro, which I have never, this is the first time I'm announcing that. So there you go.
Scoops.
World premiere.
You guys get the exclusive. I think
awesome.
that's pretty much it. I've been playing my Playdate. That's not Nintendo, but yeah.
I'm supposed to be getting mine tomorrow. So
how's that Playdate been treating you?
It's awesome.
Ooh, I did get in the mail today. I did get a Turok T-Rex action figure. Do you want to see my Turok T-Rex action figure? This is the T-Rex from Turok.
Nice.
He's all decked out in Native American gear because that
he kind of looks like he has lipstick on.
And a little
roar, roar.
And there it is, literally dinosaurs. Right there.
Yeah,
literal
it's
dinosaur.
literally a dinosaur.
There it
Yeah.
is.
Here we
Shirts
go.
on sale at retrologic.games. Go buy a shirt.
That's right.
And
Go,
stickers.
go support them.
And stickers.
And
The sticker comes
stickers.
with the shirt.
I love it. I love it. Tim, what have
Yes.
you been playing?
Well, right now I'm playing the eShop, looking at Bladed Fury right now because I want to know more about that game. So, but I'll look at that later. But I've been playing on my Xbox Cloud, been playing Chorus because that came out, and because I've been wanting to play it before but never got around to it. And since it's on Game Pass, I got to play a little of that.
Yeah, that game's absolute trash, isn't it?
Actually, I haven't played enough to say that yet. Right now, it seems like it's okay. I don't know if they made patches.
I'm not thinking Chorus. I'm thinking Grime. I apologize. You continue.
Okay.
But spoiler alert for Grime. Absolute trash.
Okay. Yeah, Chorus has been all right. It's been, it's a good space shooter and it does good barrel rolls. So if you like a good barrel roll.
Oh man, is it Star Fox?
Okay.
Like?
Hold up. Now you've got my attention.
Yes.
Do a
So-
barrel roll.
I just did like the first kind of like tutorial and a little bit of the beginning story. And I definitely want to jump back into it and play some more. It seems like an interesting story and stuff. I also fired up Trek to Yomi. Played that a little bit. It was one of those games where you start playing the game and you're like, okay, I just want to check it out. And you keep playing and you're looking for a place to stop and pause it and save the file. And you're still playing and you're still playing. So I got pretty far in the game. So, but just through I think when he was a child portion, it's basically samurai game where samurai story, where I starts off is he's a teenager, learning samurai ways and watches his master die, that type of thing. And he's getting ready to, that was a flashback. And now he's getting ready to save his family or save his town village now. And that's as far as I made it there. But that's another game
because Zero Punctuation did this last week and he made a joke about that.
Yeah. Yep. So it's another one of those games I've been wanting to play. I just dove into it just to try it out, and definitely another one I want to keep playing. And I've also got to play on my PC the Disney Speedstorm beta that was out, the closed beta, this past weekend. And I really like Asphalt 9 because that actually came out on the Switch too. I played it a lot on my mobile. But then when it came out on the Switch, I played it a lot. It is a pay-to-play game. Or you start off play for free as far as Asphalt goes. And then you can buy cars, you can buy packs, and those packs will build up your car. I guess points, for lack of a better term, to build up to get your car. So if you get so many cards, you then complete your car. And then you can add it to your garage. So right now in Disney Speedstorm, what it looks like is that there's like 3 different currencies, which is crazy. But a lot of it is used to purchase your characters and then customization of those characters. So although I take that back. No, not the characters. You don't purchase characters. You're just unlocking customizations because you unlock the customers. You unlocked the characters during races, and then you can customize it based on the currency you have and the tokens, so or tickets or whatever. But I do have to say that right now, without knowing fully how much of it is going to be pay to win, let's say, I had a blast playing the beta, and I'm looking forward to it coming to the Switch because of the characters were designed very well. Mickey, you get Mickey right off the bat, at least I did in the beta test, and the tracks, the music and the tracks were so fun to play. and hear and listen to. There's a lot of remixes to some of your favorite Disney tunes from movies and stuff like that they do, from what I heard. And one of the tracks I got to play was Hercules, as Hercules, and the remix to the song and the track itself was just bonkers, and I had a lot of fun with that. So,
but Tim, can you play as Kuzco?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I didn't see that yet.
All right.
So I can't say yes or no.
You got to pay extra for him.
Can you pull the lever?
That's
Pull the lever,
catalyst.
Gronk.
Maybe that's season 3.
It could be later on. Yes. So there are
they're
battle
gonna add
passes for
characters.
this. They do have battle passes for this. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it full blown when it comes out. So, and it is summer 2022 that said that it would be coming out. So a lot of fun. If you like Asphalt, it's going to be along the flavor of that, because it is Game Loft, if I can remember the name of the company right, that is making this game for Disney.
Sounds right.
And they're the creators of Asphalt, and you can see a lot of that DNA in this game. And I really like Asphalt, and that's why I mentioned that at the beginning. Yes, I spent money on the game because I wanted some cars. That's just me. I love my racing games. So, and this one is a good mix, I think, between Asphalt and Mario Kart, I think.
At me when you can be Kuzco.
Okay, I'll let you know.
All right.
Some of the Switch games I played, and which I also have videos out on our YouTube channel. One game is Cloud Gardens. It is a garden simulator, if you will, in a dystopian world where you have to take, you get kind of like in a, I guess, a Captain Toad type setup where you're in a 3D environment, right? And you can turn the environment around and you can see all the post-apocalyptic environment that you're in, that you can plant and replant seeds and stuff like that and make vegetation grow over all this post-apocalyptic type stuff. Like you could be, for example, you could be on a section of a freeway where rusted out cars are there, and tires and road signs and stuff like that are off there. And then you just take these seeds and plant plants all around, and just kind of it's supposed to be a relaxing game, which it was. The objective is to fill up this scene with growth. So that's it. And if it sounds stupid easy, it is. So I just take a look at the video, or go to the Cloud Gardens page on the eShop and just take a look at their video, and you'll get an idea too of what this game is about. And it's like I said, it's pretty laid back. I did it in the morning before I started work, just ended the video then. And it's one of those things, if you're looking for something to play before you go to bed or to start your day off, that's really very easy and relaxing and not stressful. That's something to look at. The other game I was playing is Demon Slayer, the Kimetsu no Yaiba.
鬼滅の刃
Hey, see, Jesse knew I was going to mispronounce that, and he got it all ready. And Hinokami Chronicles. That's
Actually, I put that into Google Translate just to see what it translates to, and the translation is Demon Slayer.
Okay. So this is again also a video that I did. I think I streamed this one, and Jesse, I think you stopped in to correct me in some of the things I was saying too there, but my Japanese is not very good as far as trying to pronounce that stuff. But this Demon Slayer game was delayed in its development and came later to the Switch, and came recently and dropped, and I was able to play it. And the reason why I really wanted to play it was because my daughter is into this series, into this anime. She collects a lot of the figurines that you can get now, and she has some other things from the series. And she's watched the anime and I think the movie. But this game is actually based on the anime and the movie. So you're replaying a lot of the scenes and the stories throughout the series. So this is another way to be able to understand this series and lore behind Demon Slayer, which is really cool, actually. And I played briefly in the video. There's a lot of talking and stuff like that, so the actual gameplay portions was very brief. But the part I played was at the very beginning of the story of the kid I'm playing. Using my character I'm playing, he becomes a demon slayer and he has to go through these trials and stuff like that. So there's a lot of backstory to be told there. And there's a lot of button combinations, almost like a hack and slash, but you have to make sure that you're being methodical, I guess, if you will, with your button presses, not just smashing away, but doing certain combinations to get combos and stuff, which I like in a way too. So far, I'm having a lot of fun with it too. So if you're into the Demon Slayer stuff or want to know anything about it, of course, you can go read the books or watch the animes and get it that way, or you can play the story. And that's what this game is, essentially. And that's what I've been playing. Muted.
Jesse, we'll throw it over to you then.
Okay, so I did some streaming over the weekend. Saturday, I streamed the Famicom Disk System games that I talked about last week. I did play all 6 games that I had at the time. I recently got Zelda 1, and I'll not sure when I'll stream that. I haven't tried it yet, so like I hope the disc even works. I should be getting Zelda 2 in, I think, as early as tomorrow. But so sometime I'll do a stream of those. And then I mentioned the auction for Doki Doki Panic. I won that, so I got that game coming that I should have by the end of the month. So probably when I have all 3 games, I'll do another stream with those. Then Sunday, I didn't stream it because Tim was streaming Demon Slayer, but I recorded it as a VOD of Gravatar Recharged, which we got from Atari. And I'm not a fan. It's a shmup, but think of like the original Asteroids, where you can you're a ship that can rotate in any direction and then can thrust in any direction. But this adds gravity, and then different stages and different planets have different gravities that really messes up your equilibrium, and I just wasn't able to grasp it. So if you like that type of game, then I'd say give that a try. But it wasn't a me game. Then yesterday, with the PlayStation Plus revamping, and I now have access to the PS3 streaming games. I scrolled through the library to see if anything would jump out at me, and I found a game that I completely forgot about. At least I forgot about it in terms of PlayStation. It was Karateka or Karateka. I don't know what the right pronunciation is on that one.
I believe it's Karateka.
Okay, so I'm wrong.
But I'm from Tennessee, so I don't know.
So this used to be a game I played like on the Commodore 64 and the Apple. So it's a game I like and was able to complete. So I figured, okay, let's give this one a shot. And it's more or less the same game, except for, in a 3D environment. You're still running in a straight line, but that straight line has a curved road and goes up and down hills and under bridges. So it adds a 3D depth to it, but still you're just running through a straight line to the next combatant. The battles are a little bit different in this one. It's always you block their attack and then you have a window to punch. And it took me a while to figure it out, but it gives you these percussion cues. So if you just hear like a single drum, like, boom, then they'll attack once that you have to block. But if you hear like almost like a chime, then they're going to go like 5 or 6 attacks. And you can't just hold block and to eat all 6 attacks, you have to press, let go, press, let go, press, let go in the right timing. And
so it's almost like a parry.
Yeah, but you have to like block all 5 or 6 attacks before you have an opening. So it's so I liked the game. I was able to beat the game. It has a slightly different story, where in the original game, you were just the one warrior, and if you died, game over. But here you have 3 lives, and each life is a different character that all are trying to win the affections of the lady that you are trying to save at the end of the game. The first one, I think each one is less, to her is less desirable, and is also easier because they hit harder. So you start off with the true love. So if you want the best ending, you have to not die. But if he dies, then this monk shows up and just continues from where you left off. You don't have to start it over. And then if he falls, then like this big hulking brute shows up, and I was able to win with him. So I'm like, I don't think this is the game I'll go back to see if I can get a better ending, but it was just kind of interesting to play the old game in a new way again. It did have some of the old music cues, if you're familiar with the old music, like da 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 da. They're really short things, but they use them in the game especially when they show the cutscenes. But I liked it. It was worth playing through again. For me for the first time in this version. And then last, I played Shredder's Revenge for the. I just played one stage before recording on the easiest level, and I like how when the stage starts, it gives kind of like the silhouette version of what the boss is, similar to what Turtles in Time does. I didn't like the fact that it gave me a 21-page tutorial on how to do every move. I'm like, I'm not going to remember these. Don't tell me all this at once. I had this discussion at the start of this show. Don't give me all the information at once. So I found like 2 or 3 moves that I liked that seemed to work, and I'm kind of stuck with it. And so again, I'm probably not going to play it much, but I'll play it through once just to see the story. And then I'll probably put it down. I'm playing that on Xbox with Game Pass.
Good deal. We've pretty much talked about all the games that I've played, except for 3. I just want to hit them pretty quick. We got a code for a game called Freshly Frosted, which is a puzzle game about donuts. And I thought it was just like an assembly line type game, but it's like, the story is this girl goes into her mind, and that's where, like, to chill out, she imagines donuts being made. And so like it's narrated by this girl as she's like, hey, let's stare into the sky and imagine donuts being made. And so the way
doing that,
I too often think about donuts.
Yeah, right. When I need to calm down, I think about donuts being made.
I thought we all thought about crumble cookie.
It's crumble cookie. Yes. That's right. Yeah, we think about crumble cookie. Hashtag crumble. The basis of the game is you start at the starting point and you draw a assembly line, and the game has various rules. Like you have to take it through the frosting before you take it through the sprinkles, before you take it through the whipped cream, before you take it through the cherry on top. And then eventually you're making different kinds of donuts, and you're like pulling different lines together.
So it's a Krispy Kreme.
Kind of. And so, but here's the really cool part about it is it has this like kind of lo-fi soundtrack. And once you start the assembly line, like all the things move to the beat. So it's like the donuts are moving and the machines are stamping things. It's just very zen. It's really good. I played quite a few levels the other night because I just got lost in it. I recommend it. Also want to talk about Lumberjack or Lumberjack, where you play as a bear who has an axe who goes in and uses his axe to destroy things that the humans are using to destroy the forest. So on each level,
Sounds fair.
It's like an action puzzle game. So you're not actually like killing enemies or anything, but like you'll go in and like chop their cars up with your axe, and all the parts will go into the bear's backpack, which will then eventually give you the ability to upgrade his axe. And each stage, you upgrade the axe twice to be able to break the biggest part of the stage. Okay. So it's like a progressional type thing. The other thing that you can do is on each stage, there's a bear trap that you have to break. You have to get all of the like cleared off or technological spaces turned green again. And then the third thing you have to do, and this is by far the most satisfying, is sometimes like you'll bust a building and there'll be like a human inside and they'll be grayed out. And if you press the action button, the bear slaps them in the face and they turn into a better version of themselves.
Nice.
So here I thought you were going to make a comparison to, what was that? The old arcade game where the three monsters would
Rampage.
break up. Rampage.
Yep, Rampage.
Right.
Except for you find a person, you eat them.
You eat them. Yeah.
No, you don't eat them. You slap them in the face, which is a little bit more satisfying. The only downside that I have to this game is there's only 20 levels. So when you're done, you're done. And like when I got done, I had unlocked, if you get all three things on each stage, you unlock different costumes along the way. And so at the end, I had gotten everything on every stage and unlocked all the costumes without really having to go back. So it's a fairly easy game, but it's fun. And I think it's a little overpriced for what you get. It's $13. But
I assume you don't get to build a Robo Kazooie for your backpack at any point.
No.
So that's another downfall.
No, it does have some pretty funny humor as well. I think it'd be fun for kids to play too. Like my son liked it. So I think it's a little overpriced. So you might wait for it on sale. The other one that I wanted to draw attention to was a demo I played a little bit ago, but I did not talk about. And now the game is available. And it's if you are a fan of Plants vs. Zombies or tower defense games like that, this game is called The Last Friend. And it's set in a post-apocalyptic world where you are a human survivor who is rescuing dogs from like Mad Max style villains,
Awesome.
people, and then the dogs become what you use for tower defense.
Yep,
Oh,
they're
I
turrets and
remember this
things.
now.
So like
It's really good.
Yeah, if you like, the dogs are manning turrets, the dogs are holding shields, the dogs are like fighting for you. But the added element to this game is you're on the ground too, and you can like punch and kick the enemies as they come in to like soften them up.
You have to.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do have to. And that leads to coins, which then but you can upgrade the dogs. You can upgrade and you're in like some kind of like souped up RV, like post-apocalyptic RV with all the dogs.
Yep.
And so the end of each stage, or the end of every few stages, sees you busting a dog out of captivity. And then it befriends you, and you begin to, you can like sub them in and out and
Some
use
of
their
them are
powers.
passive skills as well.
That's true. Yeah. I'm glad you said that. So yeah, there's like, it'll like be a buff or something.
Yep.
And so I thought this was a really cool game. I don't know why I didn't buy it. I think it just slipped under my radar because like it got delayed and then it came out without a lot of fanfare, but I'm telling you, you need to go check it out if you're a fan of tower defense. It's called The Last Friend, and it's available now. And there's a demo for it as well, so you can see if you like it before you try it.
I'm going to download it now then. You said demo.
If you love puppers, this is a post. They could have just called it post-apocalyptic puppers, and that would have been fine. But that's what I've been playing, and with that, we're done, and we're turning on our community spotlights. And as we do at the beginning of each and every community spotlight, we give our guests time to talk about them, to plug their show, to plug what they're into and what they're doing. And so I know that Dan had to skip out because it was getting a little late for him. But John, Sam, if you want to tell people, how do they connect with you? How do they connect with the show? What's going on over at Retrologic? All those different things. This is your time.
Sure. So Retrologic is now a bi-weekly retro podcast. It's kind of like a variety show of podcasts, I guess. So we do lots of trivia games, just lots of different things. And then we'll cover one topic in the show that's related to, a vintage console or a game in a series that we all like. Just us, Sam and I and Dan, having a lot of fun talking about retro games.
And sometimes guests.
Yeah, we usually have a guest. It seems like we haven't had too many guests in a little while, but we need to fix that. We're running a little dry on guests.
I think we have a couple coming up.
Sounds, yeah.
Dan usually gets the guests for us, so.
Yep.
But I think I spied in the notes we have some on the way.
Nice. Yeah, I don't peek in the notes as much because I'm also busy doing my other podcast that I started up here recently that's also part of Retrologic called On Topic Retro. And it's also a bi-weekly podcast, and it is a retrospective podcast. It's on one single game, and I and also any other people in the community that want to be an expert on a game for a day can come talk about the game as well. And I'm on episode 8 now. And as I talked about earlier, we're going to be doing Bionic Commando. And I believe I have signed up for that. Chris Logal from the community and also Wondrous Will from the Mega Dads will be on to talk about Bionic Commando next week. And awesome. Sam does some other things.
Yeah, so the main things I do are the blog, which you can actually find everything at retrologic.games. That's our website. That'll Very have true. Links for the podcast, the blog, any YouTube content, which Dan puts out, Twitter feed, all that stuff. And also streaming on Twitch, which currently is every Monday and Tuesday. It's been Tuesdays for a while, and I added Mother Mondays recently to keep up with Mother 3. And don't forget also we have the Retro Groove podcast. So we focus on retro video games on our podcast, but Dan's brother Adam, who you might know as Octorock from Discord and other places, along with Liam, who you might know as LPD, have a show where they talk about collecting retro music. Well, they just talk about music generally and also collecting vinyls. So it's a nice fit, a lot of overlap there in interest.
That's cool. I think that you guys have kind of the retro market cornered over there. Now you just need like a animation podcast or a video.
We were talking about that the other day. We really need a retro film / TV show podcast, but Sam said he wasn't the right guy for the job. So, and I don't know if I have enough room for another podcast in my schedule.
The same thing we do here is we always say if there's anybody who wants to fill that vacancy,
we've asked. Hopefully somebody. Marty needs it. Marty's all about Saturday morning cartoons.
I just need more to do in life.
We'll sign you
up. Yeah, it's happening. Well, guys, y'all go check them out over at retrologic.games. Get some stickers, get some literally dinosaurs t-shirts, go watch their YouTube stuff. It's all quality. Be sure to check them out. And guys, we're so proud that you were part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts, and proud that you're part of our community. And so we love it and definitely want people to go over and check that out. So a couple of things I want to make mention of before we get into our updates about the family of podcasts. I want to remind everybody that we're running a contest right now. as you hear this, the contest is, you know what? I'm going to back up here because that contest is over. We will be announcing on next week's show the winner of basically a random draw. We ask you to send in your favorite indie game that did not have a physical release that you wanted to have a physical release. When Barry was on from a couple of weeks ago, we were going to pass that list on to him, and the winner is going to receive a physical copy of Rain on Your Parade plus Levels and Features DLC from those guys over there. And so the winner will be announced next week, and that game is actually not out yet. They're currently producing that edition, so we'll pre-order it for you. We'll get the game to you. It's going to be fantastic. Also, Justin, if you could help us out here, we're running a Father's Day giveaway.
We are
on Twitter.
Right. That's 100% correct. We have got an article on our webpage. Go to nintendodads.org, and it is gift ideas for dad. And we had one of her wonderful members of our community. I think it's Chad. Is it Chad? Can we check who that is?
It's Chad.
It's Chad. Write this article. And it is recommendations for Father's Day gifts, from video games to clothing to kind of like great ideas. And we are going to give away a video game that we think is awesome for families and awesome for dads. And that is the new Lego Star Wars game. Big thanks to actually the publisher who actually sent us a code, said we'd love for you to give this away. So that's what we're doing. All you have to do is go over to our Twitter page, our #1 pinned tweet right now, and just retweet that. And we're going to draw a winner on Father's Day, and I'm going to DM you, and I'm going to say, hey, congratulations. I've got you a North American Nintendo Switch eShop code for the new Lego Star Wars game. So again, head over to nintendodads.org, read the article. Chad did an amazing job. It's so fantastic. We love it. We love the article, and we love just kind of Nintendo dads, Father's Day. Like, these are things that kind of fit in our bucket. So thank you for doing that, Chad. He's an amazing job at that. Check out our website, but of course, retweet that tweet. Is our #1 pinned tweet right now. Retweet it.
Can I tell you how cool it is that we're giving away that game? Because it is absolutely a perfect game for dads to play with their kids. It's Star Wars. It's Lego. There's no lives. Almost infinite continues. It's great to play together. Fantastic choice. So go over to our Twitter @NintendoDads and check that out. Tim, why don't you tell us what's going on the family of podcasts, and then we'll get into our questions for tonight.
Sure thing. All right. So as the Retrologic team just mentioned here, they have their shows that they run over there at Retrologic. Not only do they have the Retrologic episode 81 that they dropped recently, where they talked about the GBA mods and cheat codes and why didn't the Dreamcast have 2 analog sticks. Well, you just heard John talk about that he's working on episode 8 on Topic Retro, but right now you can go listen to episode 7, which John talks to Sam and the Nintendo pals about Gunstar Heroes, and episode 25, which is Retro Groove. Adam and Liam break down their favorite albums that have sold 25 million copies. So lots of fun things to listen to over there by that team. And then Game Pass News, they are working on, in fact, they just recorded today, episode 58, where they'll be breaking down the showcase and the news from other presentations so far and what they liked and didn't like. So you'll be able to listen to their episode when it drops this Saturday. And then the Dads After Dark show, their last episode they did was 101, where they talk about gearing up for Mario Strikers, but I'm sure they'll be working on their episode soon, 102. So keep an ear out for that and how things have been going with Mario Strikers and the Dads After Dark Mario Strikers Club. All right. That's what our family of podcasts has been doing. Back to you, Marty.
Awesome. So let's hit in some questions here from the community. Justin, this is for you from Acid TK03. He says, Business Justin, where's our Nintendo Direct?
Oh, well, I think this is a great question. We talked about it a little earlier in the show. I think Nintendo, what they have done, I talked about this as a strategy that potentially was going to occur, was because they were not beholden to the E3 timing. They had the opportunity to create space from everything else that was being announced and create their own really independent PR beat away from all of the other news in the cycle that was going on. And that's really, I think, what Nintendo is doing here is they're taking potentially, and again, if the rumor is correct, near the end of June to say, this is our time. And that's going to be great for them because they don't have to compete against anybody else's announcements. Nothing else gets lost. And they can really own that moment, which I think they're going to do really well. I do think they need to communicate a strategy. They need to communicate what's going on. And I do believe they have something to actually show us. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks, they're going to show us something. But I believe that is most likely why they have decided to delay it. Hey, why do we have to actually do it when we're going to do it? We're going to wait. We're going to own our own PR beat. And that might have actually allowed them the opportunity to secure some more potentially exclusives or other timelines on their development cycles that were maybe a little bit loose, but now that's given them a little bit of extra time to actually complete this. The other interesting, really important part about this is that if it does indeed go the week of the 29th, they'll have completed their cycle for Fire Emblems, the game that's coming out next week, right? So they're really gonna have to focus on what's ahead of them, which is Live Alive, Xenoblade, and Splatoon. So they're running out of runway. They're running out of PR stuff they have to talk about, sort of ish. So they really have an opportunity to position themselves and own that PR beat at the end of June.
Thank you. Thank you for that answer. Here's some questions from Discord. Jamie asks, if you had a limited budget throughout the year, would you prefer to pick up a couple of big, long games or a bunch of smaller indie titles? With the cost of living these days, it's hard to afford to buy new games all the time. Outside of birthdays and Christmas, I rarely get new games these days, so I resort back to playing the games I already own. If I do purchase a game, I want to get out of it as much as possible, as it might be a while before I get my next one, so my preference is RPGs like Fire Emblem, Three Houses, and Octopath Traveler. So which do you prefer if you don't have a lot of money to spend? Long games you can sink your teeth into, or smaller, multiple experiences that don't last as long? Keep up the great work. I'll start this one off by saying I'm going to buy the multiple small indie games, especially if it's stuff that I can play again. And there are several indie games now that are cheaper that do have a little bit of mileage to them. You know, I'm thinking like Chris Tales and games like that. Live Alive, I don't think is coming in at a full $60. So, and I know that's not an indie game, but I
think that's a $50 game.
Yeah,
it's a $50 game. So, you know, I think from what I've read, that's a pretty substantial game. But I don't know that I would necessarily consider it indie, but I also would consider it, which is a terrible answer. But what about you guys?
It's a remake.
It is a remake, but since it's never been released here.
For me, especially as the guy coming from the retro show, I mean, buying retro games is a lot like buying indie games these days. I mean, indie games are often designed to look retro, and you often are getting something that's, you know, not technically as high level, not as content packed, but often at a lower price. Not always with the retro stuff these days, but yeah, I find that the longest games aren't always my favorites. I've actually, in a lot of the stuff I've been playing recently, I found when it comes to RPGs in particular, I really appreciate the like 25 to 35 hour Super Nintendo RPGs a lot more than some of the newer. Though there's newer stuff that is a lot more trim to the fat too. I think some of it is like in like the PS2 era when you started having all those cutscenes and they made them unskippable when they started to get, and they're like, oh yeah, we can just add another disc. You know, that's when they started to get really bloated. And I think we kind of learned not to do that all the time. But I mean, I can't think of too many, you know, games that are, you know, 80-hour playtime that I actually felt really satisfied about the whole 80 hours. Whereas I can think of a lot of, you know, those like 15-hour short games that maybe I wish they went on longer, but I was definitely happy that whole 15 hours with the game. And, you know, I'd rather be wishing for more than thinking, okay, when is this going to finally end so I can go on to the next thing? Now, with a limited number of games you can ever get, okay, but then you have to think, okay, well, are there short ones that are worth replaying? You know, ones that have that replay value, or if they're multiplayer or things like that. So I'd go small variety, more of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to jump in on that?
I'd say in general, same here. More of the less expensive games as opposed to fewer of the more expensive ones. But if it's not a Persona or a Dragon Quest, if the game says this is a 100-hour game, I'm probably not even going to try it, because even the games that are shorter, if I get to a stuck point and I don't feel like I'm learning things in my failures, and I'm just failing for the sake of failing, then that's where I wrap it up. Like the Xbox game I've been playing for the last 2 or 3 weeks, I put away because every route I haven't passed yet has the same type of obstacle, and I can't beat it. So I'm like, oh, I'm not going to fight with this. I have other things I can be playing. And even though that was a free game because it was on Game Pass, but still the same thing applies. Even if I had bought the game outright, I would have stopped at the same place. So yeah, ultimately the same answer. More cheaper games.
Yeah, I think it's a balance, right? Like for me, it's value, right? So great examples. One of the reasons why I like going back to Fortnite, Apex, Overwatch, right? Long-term value that I don't have to pay a lot for, and that is quick and easy and accessible, I think is one of the things that I like. And so games as services, one of the things that I like. But I also think, like, as a dad, I don't have a lot of time to play a lot of long games, right? Like to have a continual block of like, here are 3 or 4 hours that you can sink into a game does not happen. So I've got 20 and 30 minutes, and typically that really works well for like small indie games, or typically smaller allows me to do that. So I'd rather have a lot of small indie variety, would be my statement. I also like Mecha Dragon's call out to, why don't you just get Game Pass? So that could work too.
Well, and let's just say that to that end, it may be in a situation where he's, Jamie's talked about not having a lot of money to spend on games. Maybe he only has a Switch. And so Game Pass is not an option unless he forgoes buying those Nintendo experiences he may like to have, like Fire Emblem, and does it through cloud gaming somehow with Backbone or something like that. And that's not always reliable. So ideally that would be, I think that would be great if you do have an Xbox, Jamie, but I don't know. If you're just working with Nintendo and you've got Fire Emblem and Octopath Traveler on your list, I think those are what you're going to be looking for. And thankfully, that you've got a new Fire Emblem coming out. It's a Musu game, but at least it's a new Fire Emblem. And apparently,
Xenoblade.
Xenoblade, and if leaks are to be believed, then there's a new Fire Emblem game that got leaked this week that has been sitting on the shelf for over a year.
Looks very Fire Emblem-y.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So hope that answered your question. Mecha, who we just mentioned just a minute ago, asked us, would you rather have Nintendo Directs be like they used to be back in the Wii U days with skits, comedy, and unique ideas? Or would you rather they have been what they have been doing lately, where it's just here's a game, here's the game, here's the next one in a list format? 110% bring back puppets and fights and Bill Trennan eating donuts. Yes, yes, yes. All of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want every Direct doing that. I do kind of like if they blended it, but
mix would be better. Yeah, does this mean going back to them not having any games to actually?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why they did those things in the past. There's no games.
Listen, some of the best meme-worthy stuff for Nintendo came out of those.
They're like, we don't have any games, but we have puppets. It's just as good.
You know what? Puppets are fine. Puppets are great.
I think I still have the Iwata puppet doing the directly motion as my Facebook banner.
It's iconic, man. What other CEO at that time, or like head of a company at that time was willing to do those things? And honestly, I don't want to speak blasphemy, but that's kind of what endeared Reggie and Iwata to a generation of Nintendo fans, right? They were willing to do that. in the face of their company not doing good, they were still willing to mix it up and have fun.
I think we've had this conversation in the Discord before, is who could ever, take that place and be that person again. And I think it's Koizumi. I think it's Squid Research Lab guy.
You guys remember when the Switch got revealed and he was up there like doing magic tricks and stuff to reveal the Joy-Con?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? Where did that go? I don't know. I think it just builds a rapport with your audience, and I do like the idea of, like you're saying, have a mix. But
I think Koizumi's the last one left still doing it. Like, he still does the Squid Research. Like when they announced Splatoon 3,
he shows up in his lab coat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did he contort his body into a 3 like he did to a 2?
I think they did.
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
I just think that the whole idea of like standing up there and being like, here's a game, here's some footage, here's a game, here's some footage. Okay, great.
Is he going
to now what we don't need to do? What we don't need to do is to go back to the days when it's like the Wii music on stage. You know what I'm talking about? Like that was bleh.
We don't want to get that far back.
Yeah. So rewind just a little bit. Wii U era, but with Switch success. Couple of other questions here. Hey, it's Chad. Says favorite arcade to visit growing up and favorite memory. I only had one, which was Aladdin's Castle in the mall my parents used to go to. Toward the end of the trip, my mom would keep shopping. My dad and I would go to Frankenstein's Hot Dogs, which was across from the arcade. We would enjoy hot dogs, and he would let me visit the arcade while he finished off his beer. It was always fun, and the quarters never lasted long enough. Did you guys have a favorite arcade growing up?
I don't remember what it was called, but yeah, I did have a local arcade I used to go to, and back then we would they would give free tokens depending on your what grades you got on your report card.
Oh yeah.
So
yep,
you go there every quarter to get $3 or $4 worth of free games.
Strangely enough, we had Aladdin's Castle as well at the mall.
I've seen those. The one that we had that was the most memorable, and really the only one that I know of, was an arcade called Tilt.
Yep.
And we had that in the mall that was close to my house, and I would always con my parents into being like, give me $5, and I'd go get a roll of quarters. It was where I beat the Simpsons arcade game with a friend.
That's what I liked doing, was going to the malls to find out if they had an arcade when I was younger too. And then I think Tilt was one of the ones I discovered, and the one at the mall I went to had a 2-floor Tilt.
Oh wow.
Arcade. And that's where I discovered that holographic arcade game. I don't know if you guys remember seeing that. If you went to the arcade, it was a dome and it had holograms that it was like
this
a
sounds
cowboy
awesome, but I've never seen it.
game that in there. It blew my mind as a kid.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was like holograms.
The other
cool
arcade that was memorable for me growing up was when this is really going to date me, but 1992, 93, Mortal Kombat 2 came out, and we just happened to get a brand new Walmart Supercenter, a super Walmart.
Oh yeah.
In our town. And when it opened up, it had a Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet in the entryway. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
now
I see. I don't remember a lot of arcades, but I can remember there being
kids.
like
Have
a random machine
so
at the front of a grocery
Walmart
store.
now,
Walmart
now has this place called Funland, which I was there today, and all the video games are unplugged, and they're all crap. It's like Fast and the Furious racer game.
Yeah.
Like they at the entrances, when you walked in and got your buggy or your cart, as some people call it, those weren't in the like entranceway. They were in just a little bit further, and these entranceways had arcade games in them. Mm-hmm. And so I would get my mom to drop me off at Walmart on a Friday night with a roll or two of quarters, and me and my friends would go in the back, and there was a McDonald's in this Walmart, because Walmart used to have a partnership with McDonald's and have a restaurant in Walmart. Yep. So we would go back and we would get like a 10-piece nugget and a drink, and we would use the rest of our money to play Mortal Kombat 2. And
You
y'all
can't do that today.
No,
Get off at a
heck no.
Walmart.
Heck no. What parent's going to be like, yeah, I'll drop you off at the Walmart with a roll of quarters and some other money. Go feed yourself and play. I would not trust my 15-year-old son to do that. He'd be.
So
I don't
yeah,
know what he would
in,
do.
in
You guys have Showtime
1993, in 1993, that's when I was able to start driving, and I went to drive in to Wizards. It was called Wizards Arcade on 8 Mile in Detroit. Yes, that 8 Mile in Detroit.
Did you lose yourself in the music and the movements
Exactly.
while you were there?
But
Do you have some mom spaghetti?
that arcade was where I played Mortal Kombat 2,
Yes.
Street Fighter, other arcade games, obviously. But I always preferred the driving games, obviously, the sit-down driving games.
Mhm.
But my friends that went with me, they definitely put their quarters up on there to play Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat 2 or Mortal Kombat. So, but yeah.
Wow.
Are you guys familiar with Showtime Video, the rental store?
Yes.
I've heard of it, but I've never been in one.
So we had a few Showtime Videos where I grew up, and they always had like a little small arcade room in the back. And that's the same thing. They always had, there was a Mortal Kombat cabinet in there and a Street Fighter cabinet and Primal Rage and, Killer Instinct, all the fighting games.
Primal Rage.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where I always played fighting games.
What about Pit Fighter? You remember Pit Fighter?
Yes, I remember Pit Fighter as well. Not as
What
good.
was the one? There was a fighting game where there was a dude who had a chainsaw, and like if you did a certain thing, you like cut off body parts from your. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
No.
It was a 2D fighting game like that.
Okay.
It's had something to
And
do
then-
with
Not ringing any
time.
bells.
And you guys were talking about Walmart. That my Walmart had Gauntlet Legends
Yes.
as the arcade cabinet, and I put a lot of quarters into Gauntlet
I
Legends.
just found it.
Gauntlet games were definitely quarter eaters.
Time Killers is this. It was
I think
there was a home port for the Sega Genesis, but it played like Mortal Kombat. And like all of these characters were like out of time. So like you had like a knight versus a barbarian versus like a cyborg. It's really cool, but it never took off.
Oh, I
I
guess
just
I haven't
remember-
played this. I guess I haven't played this game because I never owned a Genesis.
The final boss of the game was death. It was the literal Grim Reaper.
I think Belmont.
And you can
even
only
stuck
win
in.
against him like win around by decapitating. That's the only way you could win.
Holy water.
I played that game because it was right next to Mortal Kombat 3. And it was at a go-kart track that was near my house. And we would go exclusively for Mortal Kombat 3. And like I had this friend, his name was Cliff, and he was good at every fighting game. Like Street Fighter, he was fantastic.
I had that friend
and then he eventually transitioned to Mortal Kombat. He was like, Street Fighter's dumb. Street Fighter's dumb. Mortal Kombat's so real. It's bloody. It's and that's when I stepped up. I was like, okay, I'll be good at Street Fighter. So because I could not beat him at Mortal Kombat either. It was bad. He knew every combo.
I had one of those friends too.
He would play as Cabal in Mortal Kombat 3 and just do the like run across, do the combo, run, spin you, do the combo. He knew all the fatalities. Just made me so mad. Anyway.
How about babalities?
Great question. Great question.
Friendship
Friendship.
baladies.
So something. We're going to wrap up with a question from him. He says, which Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle do each of you identify with and why? This is a great question.
Donatello,
Donatello.
because he was basically the nerd.
Does machines.
Yes.
Makes an espresso with a giant machine.
Yeah, Donatello here because he the nerd, and in games he has the range.
Yeah, Donatello for me as well.
Donatello, y'all, was so like in the early 90s was the patron saint of every geeky, nerdy child.
Yep.
Because it was like
I loved fighting with this, the staff.
Well, yeah, I mean, you feel like you're cheating because you can reach across the screen,
right?
Right.
Like
Yep.
Why would I use Raphael with the size? Why would I do that?
When I played the game earlier today, I picked Donnie.
Yep.
That Donatello 11 levels in. He's good. Well, that's a clean sweep for Donatello.
I did notice that Casey apparently is not yet to unlock him.
You have to unlock.
Yeah.
I think if you beat the game, you get him. Which will be interesting.
Okay, wait, I got to read this real quick. Mecha Dragon just posted. Anyone noticed how the turtles are named after artists? So
hey, you want wait, don't say anything. Let me just blow his mind. There's also some frogs that are named after dictators.
There's also a live action turtle show that has a 5th female turtle that's also named after an artist.
We don't talk about.
Yeah, we don't talk about Venus de
We
Milo.
don't talk about.
We don't talk about.
Okay,
It's not an artist,
Bruno.
though, a work of art.
Mecha
work
Dragon,
of
listen to me. Listen, we don't do this very often on the Nintendo Dads podcast, but we're doing it because, son, you need a little bit of education. Your homework for this weekend and this next week before the next show, find the Ninja Turtles show from the 80s, 90s, streaming, watch all of it. You'll be fine. There you go. That's your homework. If you don't do it, you can't listen to the podcast next week. You're grounded.
Here's a bit of, maybe trivia. So, the inspiration of a lot of the aspects of Turtles was based off of Daredevil.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact,
So
the
Daredevil's enemies was the hand, so Turtle's enemy is the foot.
It was a parody of Daredevil.
Apparently the wreck that caused the mutagen to spell out of the trunk or whatever that created the turtles is apparently also the wreck that caused Daredevil to go blind. I love it. It's so good, but that's not.
That's a
And
fun
he's
theory.
trained by he's trained in martial arts by a guy named Stick, and the turtles are trained in martial arts by a guy named Splinter.
Yeah.
And all in the original run, all their headbands were red, just like Daredevil.
Yeah, and also in the original run, they are very much an adult comic,
Yes,
and
it's very
not. I learned that as a child. I was like, "Ooh, turtle comics." My parents shouldn't have bought me those, but they did. And on that note, this has been episode 380 of the Nintendo Dads podcast. We want to thank the guys from Retrologic for hanging with us tonight, guys. Such an honor to have you guys on. Love the stuff you're doing over there. Y'all go check them out at retrologic.games. Not just one, not just two, but 3 podcasts and a YouTube channel as well, and a Discord and a store, and then cool designs, all kinds of stuff. Y'all go check them out, retrologic.games. As we close out the show, we want to say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, Solo Something, Alexander Ocampo, RJ Kern, and Chad Benoist. And we also want to say a thanks to everyone who follows us on YouTube and Twitch, all of our patrons and our Twitch Prime subscribers who also get access to our Discord community, just like patrons do as well. And you can head over to Twitch if you have an Amazon Prime account, connect those things and use that. You have to subscribe monthly. Remember that. So every month you need to re-up your sub to us over on Twitch. But we're climbing on up there. And also a reminder, you can get 20% off your Manscaped order with free shipping by using the code NINDADS. That's NINDADS at manscaped.com. Head over there and get yourself something nice. Or as Justin said earlier, buy something for your father-in-law. That won't be awkward at all this Father's Day. Anyway, head over to nintendodads.org where you can find our merch, all of our YouTube videos, tweets, podcast episodes, links to social media, our Extra Life campaign, and all kinds of great stuff over there. Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com with your comments and questions, or call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show. And remember, wherever you download us and listen to this audio podcast, your service of choice, be sure to go and give us a 5-star review and write some nice words so people can find us and spread the good news of Nintendo Dads. For me, for Jesse, for Tim, for John, for Sam, for Dan, and Justin, this has been possibly the most packed episode of Nintendo Dads, episode 380. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Bye-bye.
I know.
Hey, peeps.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
If this is your jam, you are screwed.